So Nika, Julie, excuse me, Nika, Julie offered to jump up here. I know that you usually work in the background too. Just want to see between the two of you.
Nika, you can pull up Nika. Pull her up. It's good. I'm going to put a couple.
In Virginia, headed to New York.
All right. So that's what I figured.
New York, you poor thing.
Yeah, no, I have to go to Sloan Kettering for my annual cancer checkup, so all good.
Well,
Traffic sucks, but we're getting there.
It's perfect timing then, because Julie's going to be co-hosting with Terry, and you focus on driving. Gosh darn it.
It's boring as hell, Truth. Like, literally, I drove for a living for 22 years. So I could do this shit with my eyes. I could do this with my eyes closed. And I got an early start this morning, so I'm actually going to get in there a lot earlier than I expected, which is nice.
Well, knock on wood. All the turnpikes and freaking traffic in New York. Come on.
I figured I'd take the Pokey Way through PA. It's actually about 15 minutes faster to where I'm getting to. So my appointment's tomorrow morning down in New York in the city. So I'm staying up where I used to live, a couple hours north, and then I'm driving down early tomorrow morning to get in there for my appointment. I got to be there at 8:50, so for my first one.
Well, we've always been in our prayers, and we will be again.
Very much appreciated.
Yes, Nika, we are praying for you, and we'll all be good, and you're going to come out of there with big smiles on your face. That's what's going to happen.
Thanks, Julie.
What's up, Terry? Uh-oh. Terry might be in.
Terry, can you hear us, or is he busy with working too?
Might be in co-host purgatory. I don't know.
Co-host purgatory, yeah. Well, guys, I know there's a few people just in the space now. If you can go down to that purple bubble, like, and reshare the space, get it out there. Let's get some more people in here. It's also being live streamed out on Rumble and YouTube. So if you go over there to the American X Live and just give it the thumbs up, that would be great. Let's have a good day. There's lots of good stuff going on.
Yeah, sure enough, I checked my DMs and he was like, drop me, bring me back up. Good morning, Heather. Thanks for taking a mic. How are you?
Good morning. I'm going to have to shift back. I'll be right back.
No problem.
What is going on with Terry's?
It's just the space, you know. We'll get it all cleared out today. We won't get those distractors like we had yesterday. There was, boy, a lot of them came in last. They all came in hot with their, I have absolute proof of everything. Yeah, you have proof of nothing. Okay, if you had proof of anything, you'd be running this country, but you're not. So stop it. Please stop it.
Yeah, it was hard for me. Both Nika and I were like just turning down the volume, not going to listen. Hey, Terry, you might have to drop out of the space completely and come back, buddy.
There is an update, if that would help. And good morning, Truth. I apologize. I had glitchy earphones. If I put my earphones in after I take a microphone, I get this weird feedback loop. And I don't know why it does it. And I met one other person who it does it to this morning. So apologies for that. I hope everyone's having a good morning.
We are having a good morning. Good morning, Heather. How are you been?
Doing really good. Busy. How about you?
Oh, just finding out stuff here in New Jersey and trying to fight about it. And yesterday we had a ICE officer hit by a car, ran over, and then they hit and run. And our governor, who's too busy, worrying about junk verbiage in bills and stuff when she's the queen of that, when their administration is the queen of that. Not even condemning this guy or woman, whoever did this, not coming out, not speaking about it, nothing. Just, oh, wait, that was our people that you're trying to get. So we are not going to support you. We're not going to say nothing. It's just horrible. It's very horrible.
Well, while we're waiting, our buddy Terry had to reset his phone. So I'm sure he'll be back, but always surprised when people come in to listen to us chatter about sometimes good things, other times nothing. Like yesterday, there was just that whole group. They all kind of go together, and then it's just one bullshit thing after another. It's just that's why I always put distractions. They're distractors. They come and distract spaces.
Exactly. And then they leave, and then they come in here and leave, and then they go into another space and they do the same exact thing. And, I was at work. So, obviously I was seeing them all up there, and I was just like, that's why I DM'd you, Truth. I was like, please get up there so you can help poor Terry. Because I know it's Marlon doesn't listen to us when we try to vet these people, and he'll just pull everybody up, and then we have to deal with it and listen to their bullshit.
I had not heard about the ICE agent, Julie. I apologize. I didn't respond to you right away. I was trying to share the space out, which reminds me, this is such a wonderful space. Y'all, please share it out. Drop it in your DM rooms.
Yeah, that happened yesterday. Down in Monmouth County, down in the shore area. I don't know the specifics. I don't know what they were doing. If they were just looking at certain places, there's a lot of illegals that are in that area where this happened. And he got hit by this car. He's still alive, but he was hurt, and the perpetrator got away, and they haven't found him yet, and they're probably not even trying to find him. Which is sad. And like I said, our governor, she didn't even come out and make a statement, say anything, didn't condemn this person in saying, listen, obviously they don't want ICE here. Obviously, we know that, but you still don't just go and blatantly hit people and hurt them. It's still a life, and she hasn't said a word, and that's just telling. She needs to resign. She really does.
How is the officer?
They just said he's injured. I think he's going to be okay, but I don't know the extent of his injuries.
Okay, I'll keep him in my prayers. I'll also pray that they find the person who did it. If the state level law enforcement can't do it, hopefully the federal law enforcement can. Hopefully they have a case open.
Well, I'm sure because this was a federal officer that they hit, an ICE agent, that the federal level is involved. I mean, I'm sure they are because it wasn't a state thing. It happened within a state, but it happened to a federal officer. So I'm sure they are involved. As soon as we hear more, I will put it out, let you know. If not, wake up, we'll have it out. So, he's on top of everything. But yeah, just really, our state is so corrupt. It's just disgusting. Last night, which I wish Marlon was in the space, the AG came out and said that the courts ruled that they can still do the wind projects, can still move forward, which he's been talking about. We knew that wasn't going to stop. They don't care that, they are just desecrating the marine life. There is whales that are going to be on the endangered species list soon if they don't stop this. This is not going to help to power anything. All these crappy windmills that are just going to be out in the ocean with all the elements and then are going to die out there. and then they're just going to be waste, and it's a beautiful landscape. And we just have to keep fighting and keep on top of it, because we don't have the power in the legislature. So we have to help the people that are there, that are on our side, and we also have to voice our opinions about this and try to push this down. Hi, Sovereign. How are you
Hey,
today?
real quick, let me make sure Terry's working. Hold on, Sovereign.
Sorry.
That's all right. Terry, is it working, bud?
Yes. An alien tried to abduct me and had my phone, some kind of a force field around it, but I'm good. I'm good now. Thank you for asking.
Okay, just making sure. Go ahead, Sovereign.
Thanks, Terry. Probably needed that little break right before I was about to open up the mic here and go, good morning. Sorry, I apologize to everybody. I'm just having my first cup of coffee. I got up really late this morning. I don't know why. But anyways, Julie, gosh, you know, what I get confused or upset about is, or I don't understand, is why when Trump has said, like, the people have said no to these windmills. We've said no to DEI. I'm finding DEI, like, it's like sneaking in. It's trying to be all sneaky. And then the windmills are still going up. I mean, how is this stuff happening when we literally have a president who has like signed documents and orders and all this stuff? How can they still be operating and doing this stuff? I guess that's where my confusion comes in with this whole corrupted government system that I feel like we just got to get back to bare bones of 1776. But anyways, good morning. Hope you all have a great day. Thanks.
That's the big question, right? They keep getting away with crap, but nobody's really listening to or abiding by any law. It's a lawless group of people that have been, secretly running everything. Unfortunately, people are aware, a lot more people than before, which is great. We just keep on fighting, keep on talking about all this stuff and exposing it as much as we can. There's only so much one person can do. It's great that we have Trump in office right now, but we've only got a couple more years. It goes by quick,
Right. And it goes back true to when his first inauguration, when he said he was handing it back to we the people. We the people still have to step up. And Sovereign, we've been talking about this for a long time. Look how long they have been in power. They have been in blue states and even some red states with the rhinos. They have blatantly not followed the Constitution, okay? And until people learn their constitutions, which, Truth talks about it all the time. Take Back New Jersey comes in, reading your state constitutions and fighting that. The thing is that one person just, if they read it and they see that it's not right, they just don't have the funds, the money, the fight in them to take it all the way to the Supreme Court where it would get turned over. So these Democrats are not stupid. They're smart because they know it will take years before somebody can get it up to the level where it will be told that this is not constitutional and it has to be switched back. So they know these things. That's why if you ever hear them say, oh, we're going to ban all gas by 2030. We're going to ban all this by because they know they can say that because first of all, they're not going to be in office. And second of all, if things do happen, it's going to take years to turn it back around. And then there's so much damage already done. And that's why it's so important for us to keep involved in what's going on in your own backyard. It really, on that federal level, Trump is doing all he can. He's signing the executive orders. The other problem is they're not being codified, some of these executive orders. So they're really not being followed. It's just maddening. I mean, we saw Thune come out again and say that he was not going to allow the Save America Act to be put in this latest bill. I mean, blatantly coming right out and telling the American people, we don't care what you think. This is what's going to happen. It just blows my mind. But that's where we're at. And that's why we have to keep fighting.
Oh, go ahead, Sovereign.
I was just going to say that whole thing with Thune, that is completely blatant. And I'm just really kind of surprised that Trump hasn't said more about this guy. I don't know, there's something odd about the whole situation. I mean, absolutely infuriating, and he's a complete traitor at this point, but I'm just surprised that Trump isn't really coming out and saying much about it.
I think obviously there. I don't have to think. We all know that it's a big chess game. Trump is many moves ahead, and usually when he's silent about something, that tells me something is in the works. And part of me actually thinks that Trump knew they would cheat in the election before, and said, "You know what? Let them cheat. Let them get away with it. We're going to expose all this crap after the fact. But I want to make sure I'm commander in chief during our 250th anniversary." I mean, who better to be in office than him right now? I mean, that whole fight night thing. I don't know if you guys caught that, but the singing of the national anthem was probably the best rendition I have ever heard. It was amazing. Go ahead, Heather.
I wanted to say to what Sovereign was saying as well. I think that the president is operating very differently than he did in his first term. In his first term, he was more punching out because I think he expected the Republicans to fall in line with him. He didn't necessarily know how bad the deep state is. I won't say was, I'm going to say is. But this time, we've seen moves made that look very strategic to me, such as Tom Tillis not running. He knows he couldn't get elected again in North Carolina. He's so bad. Such as Cornyn's seat flipping. Um, there have been moves made, even if it's not passed during this before the midterms. I do believe eventually it will be passed. What happens after that is a whole nother question because we know that it will be challenged at a court level. It would be better if it were passed prior to the midterms so that the challenges would get expedited to the Supreme Court. I'm not a professional. Those are just my thoughts on it.
Stuff in the works. Really quick, I did put up on the top and I put down on the bottom as well. Just the rendition. It plays the whole thing of our national anthem. I'm telling you, it's worth a listen. Julie, were you going to say something? Sorry.
No, I meant to give you Heather a heart instead. I gave a wave. I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries. So since Terry just is a survivor of an alien abduction, are you still with us, Terry?
I am, and I'm listening to some really good conversation about Thune and all this crap going on. Thune is a Bush appointed, elected uh, representative, senator. He's part of that Bush, era. And what I kind of like is how Trump is trying to attach the Save America Act to Section 32 of the FISA, which expired Friday. It's kind of like that was, baby Bush's invention. So he's playing some hardball here. And when Trump was elected, his first pick was Rick Scott from Florida to be the new Senate Majority Leader. Cornyn's name came up as well. Thune's name came up, and it ended up being Thune. I don't know what his problem is other than a middle finger maybe to the MAGA movement, or he's compromised. But 80% of Americans do want voter ID. They want our voter rolls cleaned up. We don't want dead people voting. I prefer alive people vote. That's just my personal opinion. But there's a battle going on here concerning this, and it's interesting watching how Trump's handling.
Yeah, Thune is compromised. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's 100% fact. Like most people, unfortunately, in Congress, I swear they have like an eyes wide shut, moment when they get there first. I see Jeff's hand is up, but our co-host and Sovereign. So Julie, go ahead, and then we'll jump.
Yeah, real quick. I also think too. I don't know when Thune is up for re-election, but I think he will be primaried out too. I think that is also a strategic move that's going on. Let him keep cooking. Let him keep doing what he's doing, because where is he? He's from North Dakota, right, Terry? I think he's from North Dakota. He's going to be primaried out. I guarantee it. He will. Just like his little buddy Cornyn.
I thought he was South Dakota, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, as
I knew
long
it's
as,
one of the Dakotas. It's one of the Dakotas.
yeah, as long as people keep up the fight, this is where people have showed up, which is great. You know what I mean? But keeping that momentum going, especially when they're going to be voting on it, that's where Trump's going to be gone. And we've got to start really thinking about, okay, who's going to be the next president? It's definitely going to be a Republican. There's not one idiot. I don't know if they're going to go with the freaking, dime store wannabe gangster Hakeem. That guy's such a piece of shit. I'm sorry, he is just so bad. Go ahead, Jeff, and then we'll go back to you, Sovereign.
Hey, good morning, guys. I'm really, really tired. I did a space till 3 o'clock this morning and was on the B-52 crash. Pretty terrible crash. Wow, it's completely disintegrated the aircraft. And then you guys missed out, Terry. Man, we had a cop shop last night. All the cops in the space all night, and Jason and Joe Lanou and a couple other guys, Mr. M, retired police officers, and had noticed that that the military guys and the sheriffs and the police, everybody's working together in my little town. And the alien's right here, Terry. It's been there since 1947. Just come on down to Roswell, and we'll hook you up.
Are there any? Are there any
What's
donuts?
that?
Are there any donuts?
Oh, there's donut shops all over this place. You're covered. We got you, boss. Yes, sir. And yeah, but they pulled this raid on this guy down the street here, and I mean, man, they came in on this guy with Afghanistan. There's about 4 or 5 sharpshooters, and they had the robot, and man, they had everything on this guy. And I think that's how we operate down here. Is we're, since we're close to the base, retired base, we got some privileges. And it seemed that when they went in there, there's some heavy hitters in that crew, bunch of different people. They all banded up on one guy and finally got him out of the house. But the way that these guys operate down here, we operate together, I guess, with the military guys too. Maybe that's what you guys need to do up there, is take care of those problems really quickly instead of letting them fester. And just terrible shame what happens up in the skies, and can't figure this one out just quite yet because there's nothing left of the aircraft. And Frank came in from the Vietnam War, and he told us about his crash on the KC-135 where 11 guys died on the island was Wake Island. Truth, you probably know that area pretty well, right out there outside. I think it's outside of Guam, where they were landing in and out of the Vietnam War. But just interesting conversation, tired, and we need to protect our communities, and I think all the teams that are in town need to work together as a team, and not fighting between the sheriffs and the stateies and the city and all that nonsense. That's all bullshit. They all need to operate together and help each other. Just tired. Thanks for letting me up, Truth. I'm gonna yield with that.
No problem. Sovereign, thanks for your patience.
Well, going back to what Julie said about, or maybe it's Terry, I don't know, the FISA. So I was reading last night because I'm trying to understand the FISA. I still don't, listen, I don't understand this stuff very well. But what I was reading wasn't Trump first, he was either for or against it, and now, and then he switched. But sometimes I think he does things because these people, if Trump says one thing, right, the opposite. So I know, so FISA is one of those things, right, where, excuse me, they had been using it to spy on the American people, or can somebody help kind of dumb it down for me a little bit?
Well, FISA, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, was passed after 9/11 to do warrantless searches with, it required some court interaction on foreigners who may be plotting against the U.S., which we've seen how that's been abused over the years to spy on, for example, they use that as a tool to spy on Trump's campaign. So anytime there's a loss of liberty where due process is kind of shortened, there's always those people that will abuse it. So it expired Friday. So that's why Trump, I think, is merging it with this Save America Act, or wanting that done on the bill, so that the rhinos have to choose between, losing their precious FISA or have to push through the Save America Act. So hopefully I done that, quote unquote, done that down.
You did. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey guys, I just gotta step away for a sec. Be right back.
I also wanted to say real quick, Sovereign, that when Barack Obama campaigned, he campaigned on getting rid of all of that stuff. And Edward Snowden was a big supporter of Barack Obama. He lived in Hawaii. He worked for Booz Hamilton. And when he was elected and afterwards, he started to look at the programs. And Barack Obama, who campaigned on it, getting rid of it, actually expanded the programs. And that's what caused Edward Snowden to give the files to Glenn Greenwald of The Guardian. And subsequently, he's now living in Russia. But so Barack, who campaigned on it, get rid of it. What did he do? He only expanded it.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Trump say that he'd be like, when he was talking about attaching it to the FISA or whatever, he was like, if we got to do it this way and they spy on me, then so be it. But get the Save America Act passed. I think I need more coffee, guys. I'm sorry, it's not coming out right this morning.
No, you were heading in the right direction. He's making them choose between which the two evil. Like, in other words, it's an evil, but saving our republic by only having legal voters voting is, they're going to have to choose, and that he's putting them in a squeeze play here.
I mean, how many presidents would do that for their country? He literally is like, well, as long as it gets a Save America Act passed, this guy is just something. Yeah,
he is. He's fighting the Democrats. He's fighting the rhinos. He's fighting those three-letter agencies. Anyway, so yeah, but there is only one Donald Trump. Hey, Jeff, I saw you put your hand back up. What you got?
You know that Barack Obama, Jr. Senator out of the Daily Crime family out of Chicago, was crooked from the. He was definitely crooked. I don't remember the saying, but always from the get-go, and then I realized that this guy was super, super slick, really, really smart lawyer, excellent speaker, right? He tricked everybody. But I just couldn't see myself voting for a Democrat or a rookie like that. And then I realized that H.W. Bush groomed him to be the president, just like he did Bill Clinton. They all worked together. And of course, the Bush family, the Republicans, the rhinos, like you said, worked with them behind our backs. And Thune is no different. John Cornyn, Mitch McConnell, Susan Collins, and the other lady that always votes for Murkowski, all of them. They all remind me of Pocahontas, drinking beer, full of you know what. But it just seems that all these people they get behind the scenes and cut deals and help each other out and put us last.
Yeah, they're all part of that. Go ahead, Julie. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's all right. I just want to quickly read to you the latest thing that Trump plans on doing. So it says, breaking, President Trump vows to hold a press conference to read the full memorandum of understanding with Iran word by word to make sure the media covers it fairly. I will actually not only release it, I will probably have a press conference and read it to you word by word so that the press covers it accurately, because it is a very important document. And unlike Obama, who could have destroyed the Middle East with a horrible JCPOA, JCPOA. It is the worst agreement that was a road to a nuclear weapon. Mine is a wall against nuclear weapons. So he's also, basically he's not letting these slide, because that's all that's going around is that, he's given all this money, and, everybody's refuting it and saying there's no money going to Iran from America. But obviously they're going to keep spinning that, and they're going to keep talking about it. So I'm loving the fact that he's doing this, calling this stuff right out, because they don't have anything then. And, they're busy banning, they're busy all posting about their boy Gavin, who's running for cover right now because he's being audited, or he's being looked at by the DOJ, and good on him. If he wasn't guilty, he has nothing to hide. Okay. And neither should any of these other people. When they raided Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago, he had nothing to hide. Yeah, they went in there with a warrant, and they ransacked his place. They ransacked his wife's underwear drawer. I mean, what does Melania have to do? But man, Gavin Newsom is freaking out. I mean, he's posting relentlessly. So, it's just kind of funny how when one of theirs gets attacked, they all band together, which means that they're all guilty as sin, because you don't see that on the other side. You do not see that on the other side at all. I mean, yeah, people come out against things, but not to the point like they're coming out about it. So just a little note on the side.
So I'm back. I think it's so disrespectful to call Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas, not to Elizabeth Warren, but to Pocahontas. So I think we should change her name to Talks with No Brain. Remember? Dances with Wolves in the movie. Talks with No Brain. All right, that's just my 2 cents.
Lying Yellow Dog is her native name.
It's just so stupid. Just
Boy,
have to
they're
have
all-
a little bit of humor.
I know, right? They're all upset over Elon Musk being a trillionaire now. They're like, that's our money now. We want some of that. How many, Bernie, he never created anything. He's only grifted to get $3 million homes, Democrats never build anything, but they sure want to take it. Hey, Heather.
Dude, really quick, Heather. Bernie, did you see that thing where he was on, I think it was CNN or something, to where he's like, I will not apologize for taking private jets. Did you catch that? It was unbelievable. Sorry, Heather, go ahead.
I was just going to say, speaking of insulting the Native Americans, what about the cross dressers? Don't you think they were offended by the announcement that Michelle Obama is a man?
Yeah.
I thought that they embraced that kind of stuff, Heather. Isn't it awful funny now that one of their own is being called out? So now they're against it. What do they really stand for? I'm getting confused.
I don't think that they understand what they stand for. I'm sorry, Truth. I didn't mean to step on you.
No, they don't. They stand for evil. They stand for hatred. They stand for deceit. That's just proven. The proof is in the pudding. The fruit on their trees, so to speak. Look at their fruits. Nothing but the deception, corruption, stealing. I mean, the proof is out there. We're just getting pissed as we the people because there's no accountability. I have to have confidence and faith that it will come, that there will be consequences, and they'll be severe. I have to believe that, because the alternative is not a good one. The alternative of what we would have to do to hold these people accountable is not one that anybody with a brain would ever want to do. So let's just hope and pray constantly that accountability, having them be held to the law is going to happen before Trump leaves office. That's what I'm praying for myself. Go ahead, Summer.
Well, I just wanted to throw my bid in the ring for the name. I think we could name her Lost a Sock. Can we vote on that? Just Lost a Sock.
Oh, God, buddy. I'm never going to live my sock down. But you know, Sovereign, I'm not gonna do it again.
Yeah, we still haven't done our sock website, the missing sock, the missing link, whatever that one is. Uh-oh, we got the lurking fish in the audience, so behave, everybody. Marlon's around. Yeah, I gotta play the Jaws theme.
Hi, Marlon.
I'm saying there's something fishy going on here.
Oh, Heather, you are on today without any coffee. This is amazing.
Oh, Marlon, I really wish you'd jump up here because there's so much stuff going on in New Jersey and you need to be up here and talk about it too. But you're not.
There's some news dropping for Jersey today.
There's what?
There's some news dropping today.
Oh, there's
Jersey.
lots of things dropping in New Jersey today.
There's some really. James O'Keefe, I think, is about to drop some good stuff today on it.
Well, yesterday, an ICE agent got run over, hit and run, and our governor hasn't come out to condemn this, to say it was wrong. They're probably not even utilizing any of their resources to help the federal resources to find this person that did this. It's horrible. Some lower liberal court voted that it's still okay for the offshore wind to continue going, which Marlon has been talking about, which we knew was going to happen. The fight is not over. Same thing with the data centers that are going up, whether you want them or not. Whether they're good or not, there's no transparency. There's nothing being told. So until then, I say no to the data centers until we get transparency from somebody of good source that is telling us really what is going on with these things. The whole World Cup thing is being a big flop here at MetLife Stadium. That the raising of the fares for the PATH trains to get there and everything for the New Jersey Transit has been flopping. They're down 30,000. They have 30,000 openings. Like nobody wants them. Nobody wants to go. So we're probably going to get foot with that bill too. Just watch.
Well, I gotta chime in regarding data centers. Okay. How this lie and how everybody's somehow buying and believing this bullshit about water being necessary for these data centers. It's a freaking lie. I'm sorry. Hate to break it to you, but there are thousands of data centers that have been around the entire globe, all over the place. They've been here for years. They don't use water. I have data centers. I have servers. The whole water myth, it's a freaking lie. So something else is going on.
It's funded. It's all funded by Neville Singham. So there's a giant campaign and money that's flowing in from George Soros, Neville Singham, and a bunch of people, and it's going through all of these different NGOs. And that's the idea, that the objective is to slow down the United States on the AI race, right? Remember the space race between us and Russia? We're in an AI race with China. And so China has been pumping in tons and tons of money into these propaganda campaigns to get us to go with pitchforks to shut down these data centers all over these states. At the end of the day, all these states are going to need these data centers to stay with the times and to be able to process and keep all of our records, keep everything on. We're going to need them. It's going to be like a hub for us. So every state's going to need them, but that's what's happening right now. There's plenty of information and receipts out there on that.
Yeah, never once in the history of data centers have they ever used or needed water. Sorry, that lie. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of hearing it. Sick of all the hoopla. What are they really talking about here? I can agree to your point, but again, the whole water bowl, it's just bullshit. It's bullshit. I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of people talking about it, totally miseducated, thinking they know shit about data centers. You don't.
Yeah,
I have them. You know what I mean?
The water cools itself. Like there's technology there and they've even talked about running like pipelines to these data centers from places where there's tons of water. So there's solutions, but we can't actually have a civil conversation and talk about all the different avenues if we're all just going to buy the propaganda and say, no, we don't want AI. Like, That's crazy.
Exactly, Rule, because that's just another way of dividing us, right? Racism,
Yep.
these kind
Transgender.
of these kind of issues that happen within the state. This is all a diversion. It's a diversion,
Yep.
and you're right, and you know, and we don't, and people don't know enough, and people don't know where to even start to research some of these things. So that's the problem. Just be transparent, and I think people will understand better, but they're not going to do that because, like you said, there's people pulling those strings from way up above,
Yep.
and they have the money and they have the resources to do that. So yeah, that's what's
I'll
happening
pin
there.
some of that research to the top, and then you can read through it. And there's plenty of keywords in there that you can search, and you'll find tons of information out there. Kevin O'Leary's been on Fox News talking about this. It's the Arabella Network, right? That's the Arabella Network has been one of the hottest topics on X platform for well over 3-4 months, even probably 6 months. So if you look, that's where you're going to find the answers. Arabella, Neville Singham, NGO networks. That's what this is causing all of this drama.
It's got a couple hands. Go ahead, Heather, and then we'll go to you, Joe.
With regards to the data centers, I agree that there is a significant amount of misinformation. I do believe that it's a divisive topic, but the reason that it's so divisive is that our state and federal governments, as well as corporations, are not going about the implementation of these data centers properly. People are unaware. They are using eminent domain to take people's properties. They're putting these data centers directly beside neighborhoods. That is unethical how they are managing this. That's the problem. The land belongs to the American people. Full stop. If we bought it, we own it. The government is misusing their power to expand in areas that need to be expanded into. But there's a lot of open land in this country. Why are we putting these data centers right on top of neighborhoods where families are trying to live? I mean, that is the problem. AI, we have to accept AI. I don't want to, but we have to because that's the future. It is coming for good or for bad. We need to be ready to adapt to it. But the government also needs to stop abusing us. So there's a fine line. They need to find it.
Yeah. For the record, too, Neville Singham's also funding all the pro-Palestinian stuff, all the Code Pink stuff. Like everything he does is a distraction, right? And it's meant to undermine our growth here in the United States.
Go ahead, Joe.
I'm on the opposite side on that. At least for this local area, I'm not against data centers, but I think they need to consider the resources available. It took a while to even get the name of the entity that was funding it with Solar Equity, which has its own history. And all of our officials were behind a non-disclosure agreement, which to me actually stinks. And then we finally discover it's QTS, and if you look at QTS, you find several things happen, like 30 million to water gone, unmetered water lines, 40 dewatering wells, all kinds of nonsense. And you know, the other thing I'm thinking about, if there's 4 data centers going up in Fort Wayne area, that's about 45 minutes west of me, and 2 data centers going up in Lima, Ohio, of which there are already 11 wells dried out. The water's going somewhere, and it is being used. And I'm pretty confident that, you know, wattage can translate to how much energy is needed for cooling. So as far as all of the China propaganda goes, there's been no China involvement here. We're just a group of people who care about the well-being of our community. And I'm personally concerned about water resources enough to redesign my roof to collect rainwater into reservoirs so that if there's a problem, at least I have water for my family. You want to claim it's all bullshit? Go ahead. I'm not buying it.
I'm just telling you that there is tons of receipts out there that there is massive propaganda wave on this specific topic. And so I'm not saying that you are that way. I'm saying that it doesn't mean that the peers that made you think that way aren't, right? Everybody's in on the
Oh,
grift. These
okay.
NGOs are making money off pushing this propaganda.
And then you go to the bottom dollar. How much do these cities really benefit? We were promised $200 million over 20 years, and we're not going to see a penny of it for 15 years. Remind me again how long it takes for this equipment to become obsolete. They're going to hit this place, they're going to rape its resources, and they're going to leave. And then people are going to go, oh, yeah, you were right. So we're trying to stop that ahead of time, overturning a council decision, approving it as permitted use, which is the dumbest thing any city official can do, because there is no power in yes. It should have been conditional use. But we're going for prohibited use, and that's just the way it is. And I don't know what the people are going to do, but I know something feels wrong about the whole situation locally. I can't speak for Lima, Ohio. I can't speak for Fort Wayne, Indiana, but here something is wrong. I'll drop the mic there.
Well, all right. So, not going to go down the weeds too much in this. Like I said, there's data centers all across the damn world. They've been around forever, and they've never used nor needed water to cool it. That's why your freaking computer has a little fan in it. You know, it's just something's going on with water, whatever they're using it for. It ain't a damn data center. I'm sorry. You can argue all you want. I'm just telling you from my own experience of having data centers and freaking servers. You don't need water. You never have. Go ahead, Heather.
Two things I want to just say. Elon says that we can put data centers in space. And then the second thing, Truth, and this is a question. For nuclear power, don't you need a water cooling system? And the reason why I mentioned that, where I grew up, it was right on the river, the nuclear power plant. And if I'm not mistaken, don't these data centers have like mini nuclear reactors for electricity purposes? I'm asking. I don't.
Yeah, no, no. For nuclear, absolutely, yes. That's why a lot of nuclear plants are right on the water, either the ocean or a river. So you're absolutely right on that. But I know John probably has something to say. Go ahead, John.
Hey, Truth, thanks for the microphone. No, I have a question too. Did you see recently AOC was in some sort of congressional hearing about these AI data places, storage facilities, and she brought up 2 mason jars of dark brown water, and she said this is the drinking water next to these the AI data storage. Yeah, are you saying that that brown water was caused by something else, not the data storage places?
Again, dude, just my own experience with data centers. We have never used water, ever, ever. So where this whole farce started coming from, what people don't think that there aren't data centers all across the globe? There have been for decades. There's something else going on here, guys. It's not data centers don't use water. They don't. They never have. That's why I always just keep silent. I usually just listen, quite frankly. But damn it, something's got to stop regarding this stuff. Something's going on with water, definitely. I'm not questioning that. You know, there are legitimate things going on with the water, but it ain't for a damn data center. I'm sorry. But did you have to respond there, John? Or there's another hand up, Joe.
No, and I'm not saying that you're wrong or you're lying. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on, but seems kind of suspicious to me. And I think that's what you're saying, that these claims that they need water is suspicious, and there's lots of questions, right?
Yeah, and the fact that I think it was Heather that brought that up to remind us all that, yeah, one of Elon's plans is to have data centers up in space, you know, and to have a whole network, a whole new basically internet that's run from, you know, satellites and planetary stuff. So there's a whole slew of things going on that we're not privy to. That's the thing. The one thing I am privy to is data centers. They've never used frickin' water. I don't know how we got here, but go ahead, Joe.
Real quick, I put three pieces of receipts up there in the nest. If you guys want to go through and start researching, you'll see.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Joe.
I just did a search, and in the search I put QTS 30 million gallons, and it's QTS, the same agency or the company that's putting the data center in here, a massive quality technology services data center in Fayette County, Georgia, drained nearly 30 million gallons of unbilled water. It didn't even have a meter on it. I'm guessing they had to estimate how much they used, but it used the water. So now you're telling me don't believe all the bullshit. There's 7 different news articles on this. It's not bullshit.
Oh, because the news has always been totally truthful to us. I mean, come on, guys. Really? Come on. It's just like the distractions, the lies that we've been told for freaking over a century now.
Yeah.
How are people not awake to this? How are people they're still using this psychological bullshit against us, and we buy it every time. I'm sorry I'm going off today, but God dang it.
You rightfully should. I mean, if somebody's just going to hold a mason jar of dirty water up and be like, we shouldn't put in AI data centers and stop the conversation there, we are absolutely crazy, and we're selling all of our future kids, our kids' futures short. So it's the way I see it.
Go ahead, John, and then we'll go back to Jeff.
Thanks, Truth. Yeah, something was said before about using nuclear generators to power these things. And then Elon was talking about putting them up on the moon or Mars or wherever. And he was talking about using solar energy. So if you're using solar energy up there, then that's not exactly cool. And then what are you using up there to cool the data storage facilities that you're going to put on the moon or put on Mars, right?
Well, what does our computer use? A little fan. I mean, come on, this is like old tech. That's why I can't even believe we're having this conversation. There's so many hands up, and I'm so sorry, Julie, Terry. If you know who was first, please let me know.
Yeah. Let's go to Heather, Jeannie, Joe, and then Jeff. Go ahead, Heather.
I think it's really important that we do have these conversations about data centers because of the misinformation. The reality is we need them, but it has to be implemented, in my opinion, ethically. A lot of these small cities, small towns, rural areas where they're placing these data centers, they're coming in, the county commissioners, they're the ones, or town councils, they're the ones who are dealing with this. And I don't know that they're thinking it through. I think the corporations have big, smart attorneys. And most of in my area, these are good old boys. Probably half of them are college. I mean, and so they're not getting all of the information. And it's clear, virtue of the anecdotal firsthand accounts, that there is a problem with the implementation, but we also need them. So finding the balance, more education, people talking, locally to their leaders. That's what it's going to take. I don't want to drone on.
Appreciate it. Let's just get through the hands real quick, and then we'll get back on. Go ahead, Jeannie.
Yeah, it's funny because it all really comes down to we are ingrained to cite the sources, right? Where did you get that information? Cite your sources. And that is a part of kind of who we are. And the reality is there aren't any. And so getting involved, if you've got a data center near you, go talk to the engineers. Go over there and introduce yourself. Find out how they are building it and operating it. My daughter is a civil engineer and she's scared shitless about the water. I'm like, how is this possible? How is an educated civil engineer buying the propaganda? And it's because it's so ingrained. And that just tells me we have so much more work to do. Because the truth is always right in front of you. The truth is always right there. Can't you see it?
I know.
Anyway, I'll be quiet now.
That's all right. Let's get back through the hands. Julie, go ahead and then tell me. I don't remember your order you gave.
Yeah, it would be Joe next, and then Jeff, and then John, and then Rule's it up. So Joe, Jeff. Oh yeah, you heard me. Joe, Jeff, John, and Rule. But I just wanted to say, I totally agree with what Heather was saying before. When they tried to build the one up in Andover, that was the town council that made that decision in the middle of the night in the darkness when nobody else was around. They tried to do this. And that's the problem. I don't know enough about the water thing, and I'm not even going to argue that because like you said, Truth, if you are an expert with computers and you know what's going on, you know that's not true. Now, remember when Trump had the State of the Union, he brought up about data centers coming, and he said that they would be responsible for their own form of using whatever water or whatever they're using, electricity, nuclear power to run these things, they would have to pay for it. Now, that's been a big crust right now is in the United States, especially in certain areas, your electric bills have substantially gone up. Now, in New Jersey, the last, the Democrats have shut down seven plants in New Jersey for electricity, and now we have to outsource to get our electricity. Okay, now she just put out a thing just a couple months ago about them building a new nuclear plant because AI data centers and they have to re-up them, they have to whatever they're doing. So maybe that is also something we need to look into because Trump did mention that at the State of the Union. He said that, that the AI was going to be coming into towns. But what Heather was saying about the town councils making these decisions and where they're going, that's the problem. And I totally agree. There is eminent domain in lots of states. There's lots of things that are being taken away from people. Just be transparent. Again, I don't know what is powering these plants. I don't. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna try to sugarcoat anything. But you have to tell the people where you're planning on building these things, what they're going to do, what they're going to produce, and be truthful about it. But they're not doing that, and that is the problem. And that is why I think people are really mostly more up in arms than they are about anything else, because there is a lot of land in the United States that these can go into that are never going to harm anybody. So yeah, I think that's really what needs to be talked about.
All right. So did you say Jeff, Joe, and John and
Joe, Jeff, Rule, and John. Well, I don't know where John went. He went down.
Okay, cool. The other thing I was going to bring up was in industrial zones in our city, energy generation is allowed, a permitted use, but it doesn't exclude nuclear. And honestly, I don't think 11,000 people signed up to live in a city with a nuclear energy source. Doesn't sound like something we would just arbitrarily say, hey, that's a cool idea. That said, I'm one person out of 11,000. And, other things have happened I'm not going to talk about. That mainly because I want to wait till the dust settles and then I'll address it. I have a paralyzed cat, for example. Somebody came into my house. And I'm going to figure this one out. And I know what I'm dealing with. And it's all there. It's obvious. And people want to say it's CCP involvement. It's not. The only connection to China is the print cartridges I've been buying because they get made in China. It'd be nice to see us do more stuff in America. And I'm not objecting to data centers in general. I just know the resources aren't here. That's all. I'll drop the mic there and I'm done.
all right, Jeff, Rule, and Time to Fish.
Yeah, they can use emulsion cooling, and I think it's glycol. They don't need the water, but it's the power issue that cranks up the bills for all the local people in the community. And on the line here, on the natural gas line, right here on the corridor, where there's plenty of natural gas, and considering they do still refine uranium in New Mexico, they have access to that. But also too now, Joe, if they can take the spent fuel rods and recondition them in a safe manner, then that makes nuclear power a very viable option. If there's an isotope that can that can be instituted into the rods, like I believe they found the cure for that in Russia. So there's a lot of technology out there, and there's another bit of technology that should be able to collect 28 times the amount of data that's collected with the new technology that's out there. And I think that a lot of the power brokers are trying to prevent that technology because, of course, they want to sell power. That's very, very, very important that we consider the power sources in the proper channels. That way, no rules are being broken, because I see that the EPA bypassed a lot of regulations to get these power plants put up. And I think Elon Musk also bought all the generators for the next 2 years for the natural gas to produce electricity too. So there's all these different avenues. And most importantly, when you're building cities in the desert like Las Vegas, you know, that never had any human beings out there because it's just too dry and there's no water. Of course, the water tables are going to go down, like in Corpus Christi as well. And Albuquerque and Elephant Butte and Lake Mead by Hoover Dam, all of those places are really, really suffering because people think that you can build out in the middle of nowhere, and they don't think about the consequences of overbuilding. And I think overbuilding is a huge problem. That's the water in the Southwest. I'll yield.
Go ahead, Ru.
I wanted to make a few points here because there's a lot of really good points made by the last few people that spoke. So Heather was talking about the small towns. A lot of these small towns are dying, right? The populations, they're losing them to these bigger blue cities, right? So it's going to bring jobs and maybe revitalize some of these areas. I work in the insurance market. I've worked for numerous companies since 19, and my job has been specifically to implement AI solutions, and those AI solutions were meant to trim out redundancy and end the revolving door. It was hard finding really good employees, and then retaining them. Hold on, I got dogs everywhere. But so what AI did is it allowed corporations and businesses all over to say, hey, what processes are straining our company? Where can we free up this time? And then where can we repurpose these people so they can make better decisions faster? And the entire stock market was propped up by, stolen taxpayer funds, insider trading, and all that. But if that AI boom didn't happen and all that other stuff, our market would have been in a hell of a lot worse position. Nobody ever talks about adding maybe like a local tariff to these data centers to curb the increased cost that on the everyday consumers. That's another, like a small tariff or a premium. But also, people don't understand AI and its purpose, and it's all just a bunch of fear mongering. And until people get in and actually use it correctly and understand how to use it correctly, they don't realize what they're fighting against. And so I wanted to bring those points up.
Thank you. Hey, real quick before I go to some hands, I just want to say hello to our friend across the pond. What's up, Deza?
Oh my God, I'm literally eating. I can't even speak now.
I just want to say hi. I'm sure you'll say
hello, though. Hello. Hi, everyone.
All right. We got Joe and Heather.
Yeah, nuclear energy sounds great, sounds wonderful, sounds efficient. But what effect does ionizing radiation have on bone marrow? That's something I've been striving to keep my own pure and educating people on removal of toxicants so that their bone marrows can heal. And with that, improvement of red and white cells as well as non-specific stem cells. I don't think it's a very safe idea to have a nuclear reactor too close to people, because it does give off radiation, the kind that destroys bone marrow. Now, other people might be more welcoming to it or more naive to it, but right now, I even have a dosimeter. Right now, I'm at 0.06 microsieverts per hour, normal background radiation. But when we start getting closer to these things, we get closer to more radiation. And with that, decreased longevity, decreased health. So I think it needs to be carefully thought out, carefully monitored. And really, I think the people should know about it and approve it as a vote of the people. I don't think it's a decision that 7 people would make. That's my opinion.
Thank you. Hey, real quick, Heather, if you don't mind, because it sounds better from a woman's voice to ask people to like and share. That'd be great. Go ahead, Heather.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you're enjoying today's space. And if you are, we humbly, respectfully request that you go down to that purple pill, share the space out, drop it into your DM groups. Let's get this party started. All right. How's that, Truth?
Well, I would never have said humbly and kindly or whatever you said. See, that's why I asked you.
The repost are spinning like an electric meter right now, Heather. It's amazing what you just did. Daz, is that?
Geez, Truth, I feel a little bit offended here, man. I say this all the time. I guess I don't say it good enough because I have a Jersey accent.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, that's not. Yeah, you were gonna do it. It would be like another time. See, I'm asking from the participants that aren't up here on the panel, yeah. And then you can come in and then slam them again. So
That was a good retreat, Truth. You handled that really well with Julie. But what I was going to say, Daz, is that a new look? You look very spiffy in that hat and suit and ties.
Yeah, I mean, I had the casual look, but I can do the smart look as well.
That's
smart.
Inspector look.
Inspector,
Like he's Sherlock Holmes.
right? There's a new UFO researcher in town. That's the thing.
That's funny. Oh my
You
goodness.
need a monocule for that look, though, Daz. Can I go real quick, Truth, or else I'm going to lose my train
Yeah,
of
go ahead.
thought? Just with regards to what Rule was saying, I agree with most of what he said. I never mind. Forget about it. I lost the train. I lost it. It's gone.
Here, let me help you. You were saying how I was right.
You know what? Clip that. It'll never happen again. Just ladies, don't give the guys too many of those. They'll get all big headed or
Yeah,
something.
I had to take that one. I'm just kidding. No, you made some really good points, Heather. Like you were talking about the small towns and the education and people just not understanding what's at stake. And you're right. Like when I
You
started.
did remind me.
Okay, go for it.
Can I hop in? So, what you're talking about with AI is very important, but you don't mention the other side of it. And the other side is AI is going to be like the internet. It's going to have incredible uses, and then it's going to have some people who figure out how to manipulate it to be used in a bad way. I started to say against us. That's true, but it should be more in a bad way because that's a broader, it covers more things. And I think that is where we need to really look into our digital Bill of Rights. That's where I was trying to go with that. We need to be able to protect ourselves and our information from constant surveillance. AI is going to amplify our already constant surveillance state.
That's fair. It's gonna I think it's gonna free up a lot of people's time. You know, once more tools come out, more people understand how to use it correctly. That's what it's about, right? It's a law of numbers here, so why not teach people how to use it correctly, and more people that are using it for good than evil, then we win, right? Like you're never going to be able to stop that side of it, but it could pay all your bills. It could do a lot of different functions for you on a day-to-day basis that frees up time. And who knows, you might be able to start up a side business and have an AI run half of it for you, and you might not need to pay for an assistant or whatever. There's so many avenues that are at our disposal. But just holding up a mason jar full of dirty water is not going to stop me from fighting for AI, because I've been using it and investing in it for almost a decade now. So
Speaking of investments, I don't know if you guys noticed, and we've been talking about Elon, but Of course, SpaceX is up almost 10%, 9.98% today alone. So far since its opening, it's the average when it started at 135. Right now, the current share price is $211. So pretty awesome beginning for an IPO.
But you're right, it's dangerous. I mean, so if you just go in and talk to it and ask it to get, put an input in to get an output that you want, not you can curate that, right? But knowing how to balance the AI out and actually dig for information instead of reinforce maybe something that isn't true is really pivotal. So that's what I mean by teaching people how to use it, because you can use it and really destroy yourself.
Yeah, it's definitely a tool to use if you know how to use it, especially if you're coding and doing all kinds of stuff. Terry, were you going to say something, buddy?
Well, I was trying to determine what would be more appealing. Talking about data centers any more than what we already have, or a colonoscopy. And I was then trying to break it down with or without anesthesia, because I'm just a little, and I'm not that guy. I don't want to be that guy, but I kind of blame Sovereign in a way. She did bring up the sock thing, and I had another idea to keep from losing socks. I was thinking about putting one of two, one on one sock, two on the other sock, and if found, my phone number on each sock. That way, if one is missing, I'll know if it was the one or the left or the two, which is the right. It's just a thought, guys, because I don't know. I'm thinking that,
That's a good idea. Or okay, so maybe we make, they have like those little net things that you can cinch up, so maybe you just put your socks in a net when you put them in the washer and the dryer, right? Isn't that a real thing?
There it is, right there. The net, it keeps them together. That way they can't go out the dryer or whoever's opening the door. Sovereign, were you gonna add to this?
Well, then you would know if you put it in the net and you feel like it's really secure. And if it still gets lost, then you know the portal to the dark side of the moon has been opened in your washer and dryer. Sorry, go ahead, Sovereign.
I just want to say, can you hear me?
I can barely, it's like you're 10 miles away from your phone, Sovereign. I could barely hear you.
Is this better?
No.
Okay,
No, I can hardly hear you, hun.
Okay, I'll drop and come back.
Okay, go ahead, Heather.
I just wanted to say that two gentlemen discussing how to keep their socks together is kind of funny. But what all women know, and that I'm going to share with you fellas right now, is that there is a such thing as a sock gremlin. His location is unknown. He lives in your home, and that sock he takes will never be found again, just so you know.
I just wanted to say real quick, I'm sorry, Truth. There's people trying to come up, and I'm looking at your posts and I'm looking at your accounts, and you're not coming up. So please stop. This was not yesterday when we had a lot of distractors coming in, and I see you're coming in because we must be over the target again. So guys, you can keep trying, but you ain't coming up. So just letting you know that. Yes, if your profile pretends like you're something and then you're from some foreign country. Ain't happening. Go ahead, Sovereign.
Well, I kind of ruined the mood by having to like drop down and come back. But Terry, I just want to say that's really thinking outside the bag. That's pretty. That was really bad. That was really funny. I'm so punny.
I liked it.
Put a sock in it, Sovereign.
Oh man.
If I can find the matching one, I will.
Oh, there it is.
The Zynga.
Oh my God. Okay, are we gonna do a space on socks again?
Well, at least the fearless fish is in here for it this time.
You guys did start it.
Well, it's true. Terry was trying to get us off of one subject and onto something else. So I gotta, he's kind of socking it to you.
That was awesome.
Julie.
Okay, well, a new subject. I did put in the purple bubble that oil futures it's under $80. I think it was $77. So that's a good thing. And I am seeing prices drop already in New Jersey. They were dropping before this deal even happened. I just can't wait till it's so low and they really have nothing to cry about. Because our gas is still going to be higher than a lot of other places just because of the tax that happens from within the state. Has nothing to do with Donald Trump. Even though they try to say that, but we're not dumb. These things are happening. So it's a good thing. So I just wanted to kind of change the subject because it was starting to get a little murky there. But yeah, there's lots of things going on, guys. There's really some good stuff. And, Trump is, getting ready for the G7 and he's not having it. And he apparently had a talk with Zelensky today. He was in talks with him and, he's like, this is one war I really thought out of all the wars I was going to get stopped was this one. And, maybe he will get some things done. He'll get some more people to work with on his side, although I don't think so. But, there's positivity on that end.
Oh, positivity.
Well, the other thing.
Go ahead, Terry. Sorry, and then we got Sovereign. But I was just going to say, my morning started so nice, going on a walk with the old lady and taking our dog and picking our natural blackberries in our, property and reading the Bible, and then come to this space and I'm getting so. It's just such a contrast, man. Sorry. Go ahead, Terry.
It's all good, Truth. We're going to get through this, and you're going to have a great Bible study tonight at 7:30 Eastern, and it's all good, my friend. The other thing I was going to say, Julie, as to this deal, is they were charging $1 million a ship, a toll. Let's say 50 ships a day go through there. I'm just making a number up, because I don't know how many are going through, but that's $50 million. I'm hoping that's passed down in savings to the consumers on fuel. That's a big chunk.
I think it definitely is. This is part of the deal, and I'm not going to say that I know for sure because I don't. And I hate when people come in there and they say I have all this evidence, and they don't have crap. But I don't think this really had anything. And I think people that are really smart know that it has nothing to do with the nuclear weapons. It has nothing to do with that. It all has to do with them being of the regime that they were, and that they were doing the dirty work for the big companies, the big oil companies and everything else to get the money. And I think that's what's going to be brought out eventually. I'm not saying that's going to come out tomorrow. I know it's not going to come out tomorrow, but there's a lot more going on than this nuclear, stopping them from having nuclear weapons.
Go ahead, Sovereign.
I just wanted to add what Julie was talking about with the gas. So I think it was over 2 weeks ago now, or about 2 weeks ago, where it was like $88 a barrel. And still, after 2 weeks, even after the price dropped down to that in my area, it hasn't changed. And I did hear Scott, I think it was Scott Bessent. I can't always keep the names right, but one of them was working on some kind of legislation or something to do with the price gouging that these oil execs are doing to the American people. The oil is literally like, the gas price goes up, the food price goes up because the gas price goes up, and yada, 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 right? Like it's that chain reaction. And these companies just literally, I don't know if it's because they realize like what Trump is doing and the prices are going to drop so significantly. Like I feel like we're going to feel like we're living in like 1980 with gas prices eventually. But to get there, and they know this, and so they're trying to rake in as much profit and price gouging the American people as they possibly can at every turn, because they know it's coming. But there's got to be something done with this price gouging of the American people, because, like I said, it's that chain reaction. I mean, everything goes up in our lives, and it's all due to these oil execs. And again, I know I said it recently on here, but You know, the fact that Trump did what he did for the oil industry, and for them to turn around and treat the American people like that's your thanks to our president for what he's done for us and what he's doing for us. I just like, oh, if I could find a way away from them, I would. But yeah.
You're right, Sovereign. Terry, before you go, I was just thinking, dude, I think Aretha Franklin had the same sock terrors that we have, because I was I was listening to Respect, you know, RESPECT. What do they say? Sock it to me, sock it to me.
Well, you know, if I went to all Crocs, I wouldn't need socks. Maybe just one pair for a church or a wedding or a funeral. And then I could eliminate a lot of stress. Just popped in my brain, just sharing it.
You better talk to Alex about that. Advocate, you know, she could tell you all about them Crocs.
Oh, she loves her Crocs.
Can we name the next space Laugh-In?
Or Croc-In. From wearing your best Crocs. We'll have a Croc contest. Do you have Croc
Well, that would be good,
jewelry,
Heather, because
Terry?
Heather, that would be good, because then maybe we wouldn't get the idiots that come into this space, you know. That would be good. Just put it as Crocs.
My stepdaughter, we saw her the other weekend. She has these sandal Crocs, and apparently they sell Croc charms. So she has little charms inside the holes of her Crocs. Oh, they're terrible. I told her they were pretty though.
It's just like your you know, when remember the in the 90s when they used to have the flare. It's like your flare for Crocs. They used to have the flare when they, you know, used to go to the chain restaurants. They had all their flare. Well, that's the new flare is on your Crocs.
Where is Advocate when we need her? She is the Croc queen.
Personally, I think they get a really bad rep, but that's just my, you know, thought.
Well, she's got Crocs with like headlights on them.
Truth, and I've seen them because I've been to her house, so I have seen them.
Oh my goodness. You got to be careful when you say it. You got to really enunciate the word croc when you say it on here.
Oh, shoot. I'm sorry.
No, we're about socks and Crocs. It's like a competition. Which will win, the sock or the Croc? I say the sock gremlin takes the Crocs.
Did they make
too.
socks for Crocs?
Only if you're. Never mind.
Hey, listen, we had them, Heather, in New Jersey in the summertime. They come down the Jersey Shore. They're called shoebies, and they wear socks with their sandals.
I thought that was Japanese.
Oh man, just grab a hacky sack and you're back. Go ahead, Summer.
Well, I'm kind of bummed Tin's not in here for this, but I may have the other day. Remember I told you I got a cat? So my daughter decided, like, the kit's so tiny. She's so tiny. She's like, get a sock, Mom, get a sock. And then she put the cat in the sock. So maybe the cats are stealing the socks. Maybe it's just the cats. Maybe the cats are taking the socks.
If you don't have cats, are they magic cats that just appear in other
Yeah,
people's
they come through Terry's bag, the portal in Terry's bag. They like show up. They like, yeah.
Oh yeah, I
It's
forgot.
Terry's fault.
It's the dryer. It's the dryer.
Don't have
It's the
a cat.
gremlin.
I don't have a cat, so that theory's toast.
It's the gremlin that lives in your house. They steal socks. They also occasionally move your car keys from one room to another. I've even found them in the fridge. It was the gremlin. I'm tired of y'all arguing with me about this. It was the gremlin.
I'm sorry, Heather, but I got to call you out. You didn't have coffee. You put your keys in the fridge. You were looking for something in the fridge. You're like, hey, this seems like a good place to put my keys for now because I'm too tired.
Notice the difference between Truth and myself. I am whimsical. He is practical and all about the truth.
I'm a man. You're a woman. What is that line out of that movie? let me be the man. And what is Anchorman, right?
Well, in response to that, I say, let me be a woman.
Comedy.
I'm a big believer on hanging your car keys in the same spot in the house every time. If there's a fire, you can grab your keys as you're running out. You automatically know where you are. Now, I may run out. I may not have my pants on, but I'll for sure have my keys.
See, dude, practicalities. Yes. I mean, that's just us with our, background, military, cop, all that kind of stuff, right? Practicality. I know where my weapons are. I know where my keys are. You know what I mean? Just the basic necessity essentials. Don't
Such high
ask me.
level guys speak.
What's that now?
Such high level guys speak this morning.
Ooh. I know what she meant by that.
Yeah, I'm married too, so I understand. I speak woman.
When you pull your shirt out and they go, "You're not wearing that shirt, are you?" "Oh, no, I was taking it out to donate to Goodwill." "What you crazy? You crazy?"
Exactly.
You got to learn the code.
Yeah, and then they change it on us. As soon as we learn the code, then this whole network, they change it on you. And then you're lost again. You got to start all over.
Notice how they tried to push everybody into code, and then AI is that's like the one space that's like really trimming the most redundancy. So it's like they wanted to push you into a space that's going to be taken over by AI. I'm not saying their jobs are going to be non-existent, but the amount of work that they're going to have to do is significantly less. It's interesting. That's how.
If AI figures out women speak, then yes, I will use that tool. But I don't think that's coming anytime soon. Remember, most of the AI is written by idiot men, so let's keep that in mind.
So in other news, you could buy a house, a little cottage in Wildwood, New Jersey for $2.3 million on a property of land that only encompasses 50 by 100. So that's something that we should talk about too.
And property taxes of what, $50,000 a year kind of crap?
Probably, yeah. It's probably, I don't know how far it is from the beach. So, if it's closer to the beach, the higher the taxes, definitely.
Unreal.
Well, that's why they're pushing these tiny homes, because nobody can freaking afford a real home on land now. You know what I mean?
100%. It's just crazy. It's crazy. I saw that article today. Wake Up New Jersey had put it out, and it's. I mean, these are what a lot of the lake communities and the shore and stuff. They were destination points for the rich and famous of New York and in other states that really had rich. These were all summer homes at one time years ago, and then some of them were made to be year round. Some of them are still summer homes for people, but they're just decimating. They're trying to, between the offshore wind making the shoreline disgusting, killing the marine life, and now they want to raise everybody's properties up by 4 feet. They're trying to force that one down by saying the sea levels are going up, which they aren't. It's just disgusting. But yeah, that little amount of land that house is on, they're trying to petty that off for $2.3 million.
They're actually trying to tell people to raise their houses by 4 feet because the sea is coming. Are you?
Yeah, they're trying to push that legislation through. They have already they did it when after Sandy. Anybody that had to rebuild had to do that. Were forced to do that. Okay, and I can understand maybe because they were closer to the water or whatever, they were closer to the flood zone, and a lot of these, because they're vacation homes, not year-round homes. A lot of people didn't have the flood insurance that they should have had, and because they didn't classify it as a hurricane, they classified it as a superstorm. That was another glitch that really screwed with the insurance companies, so they got out of paying for a lot of the things that were happening. But now they're trying to make all the houses down there, but that are close to that have been there, with these little mom and pops that own these shore homes that have either been passed down to them or they, bought. They're trying to enforce everybody that they have to raise their property levels up so that because the sea level's rising. It's just another idiotic thing. It's just another fun thing, another fun day in New Jersey.
It actually reminds me of Maui and Lahaina for decades. They were trying so hard to get the locals that owned property there to buy them out for decades. And then that whole fire basically got them out because they refused to leave. I used to live on Front Street, and people had like their little house in between all these businesses because they just refused to sell. Anyway, go ahead, Sovereign.
I was just gonna say that it sounds like a developmental land grab again. That's the first thing I think of. Build some big rich condos there, take the houses away from the people because they can't afford the attorneys and all of the stuff. And I mean, it's their playbook over and over and over again. But I would say, go look at Plymouth Rock. It's still there. It's still at the same sea level it was when Plymouth Rock became Plymouth Rock. I just saw the other day a post where I think it's over in Rome. So there's a area where the Romans had kind of like a fishery. I'm not going to call it a hatchery, but kind of something like that. And it's right kind of off in the water. They'd bring the fish in and they'd put it in these, like big container type things that they built way back when. Those are still clearly visible. They're still right there. So all of that nonsense about sea levels rising and stuff, all you have to do is take a look at some of the landscape and it pokes holes right in their theory. But this, the whole land grab that's going on everywhere, that's part of the bigger issue. And who's behind it.
Oh, 100% Sovereign. I mean, and Marlon talks about it all the time that he's been down to the same docks for years and the sea level has never changed. And there's that famous picture they show of the Statue of Liberty when it was first put in, and the Statue of Liberty now, there's no change. And Al Gore started this they started it even before, but Al Gore really pushed all this stuff, 20 years ago. And they're still now they're still talking the same talking points. They just reworded it a little differently. It's just still a scam. It's always been a scam. It will be a scam. Of course, there's things that are happening, but not to the level that they're doing in these streams that they're doing. And it is a land grab. I totally agree with you on that one. Totally agree.
Hey, Julie, I know we don't feel like we're old, but that was more like 40 years ago, not 20.
Sorry, 40 years. You're right. 40 years ago. I'm sorry.
Actually, but it was 30 years ago this year that Bill Clinton was getting ready to square off with Bob Dole.
Crazy how quick time goes by. It's all relative.
Everybody's doing the math in their head right now to see if I'm talking trash or if it's really true. They're fact checking me right now. I see what you do.
Well, it's crazy. The 20s, right? I used to love the roaring 20s looking back in time. And here we are in the 2020s. It's kind of crazy how quick it goes by. Thinking back in the 80s, like, wow, that was a long time ago. Holy crap. Oops. Go ahead, Sovereign.
Speaking of land grabs, has anybody heard any more on what's going on with that 84-year-old man in Arizona who the Arizona College was trying to take eminent domain of his property? Did you guys see that?
I saw it, but I don't know if there's been a follow-up. I mean, I hope he gets a support like we did for the that we up winning on that one. We got federally people involved. Brooke Rollins was involved. It's a travesty. So I hope that we get the same attention put on him as they did in New Jersey.
Well, I think I saw John Rich had seen it and posted about it. So hopefully he's getting some backup there. I really do. And this is the thing. How evil, to attack the elders and people. I mean, oh man, it's just, anyways, yeah.
I know how you feel, Sovereign. It's like my daily. I just get so frustrated. Go ahead, Heather.
I was wondering if there had been any updates on those homes in Georgia. Remember, the power company was using eminent domain to upgrade the power grid to bring in, of all things, a data center. Do you remember that? An entire neighborhood, something like 100 or 150 homes were affected.
See, distractions, right? I mean, yeah, there's just so much, right? All kinds of states, all kinds of stuff. Look at where we go. Look at our spaces. We talk about so many different subjects because essentially it's all distractions, right? Well, what's really going on? That's what I always ask. What are we not seeing? What's the obvious truth that's right in front of our face that they're completely hiding, making sure we don't see it because we're focused on so much other shit.
You mean like the U.S. financing biolabs all around the world, and Tulsi Gabbard brought that out, and no Congress people are talking about that.
Right?
I mean, that is a really big. That's a big one. Big.
Yeah, now we're starting to realize why Biden wanted that prosecutor fired.
Well, the other stuff that's going on worldwide as well, all the stuff in Europe, all the stuff in Iran, all the stuff that's going on in multiple countries in Africa, not just Nigeria, but there are Christians being killed daily, like tens of thousands of them daily from Islam. But nobody talks about that at all.
If you're Cuba right now, the silence is it's deafening.
I've been to Cuba. It's beautiful. And I really hope that they have some liberation. The people are great there. The music is great. It's a beautiful country. And it's a damn shame that they've been ruled for so long, just like Iran.
Yeah, there's a lot of distractions going on right now to keep us from focused on what's really important. And but like this story, and I don't want to go back to it, but I guess I'm going to have to since I brought it up. But the implications of that are just the optics are just so bad for our country on that. But now, to Donald Trump's credit, he did sign that executive order last year, make it unlawful for us to put any money into gain and function research anymore. And Tulsi, God bless her, did tell the truth. Things that were being whispered in the background as to labs in the Ukraine, stuff that you would think was some crazy Alex Jones stuff, is now turning out to be true. And I think that our government needs to kind of explain to us why all that was going on. Why we were financing gain of function.
Well, think about all the little things, right, that have happened to like our supply chains, right? Our food, like whether it's like a screw worm or COVID vaccine for us, or a different version of a bird flu, right? All those things were like, now it's like, okay, was all of this economic turmoil manufactured, right? Because if you think about it, Iran had 20% of the oil chokehold. The Venezuela and the cartels had another probably 20% of chokehold. Chinese had the Panama Canal on lock, and we weren't really pumping any of our own energy, right? So it makes you wonder, like on the big picture, are they doing this purposely to create an illusion, basically? And I think that's what's been happening.
It's all an illusion, my friend. Go ahead, Heather.
I have an unpopular opinion regarding Cuba. I think we should free those people, take over the country, and make them a U.S. territory so I can visit there anytime I want. Thank you. That's all.
Did you say that was unpopular?
Those folks, they don't have electricity, they don't have internet. The government elites, they do. It's terrible what they do over there. That is probably one of the last places on earth where it's truly trapped in time. It's 1950s cars, all of that. and it's a time capsule. I would really like to see that time capsule, but more than just seeing it, I'd like to know that the people there can live freely. I hate that it's just 90 miles off of our coast, and those folks have been so abused. And when people start saying we need to leave Venezuela and Cuba alone, I'm like, you're an idiot. You are an absolute idiot. They are in our hemisphere. They're right there. They are our neighbors. And those people have family here in the US. And the US would rather not, or those family members would like to see their homelands restored. And I think that's right.
It's a good chance you were talking to a socialist if they said that.
Go ahead, Sovereign.
You know, I have found it fascinating since I've been with the World Cup happening. All of these people from other countries are coming here and they're, posting about their experience in America, and they're just blown away. It's like you don't realize how propagandized other countries are, against other countries, and they're just like they're happy, they love it here, and it's just they're like it's nothing that we were told that America's not what we were told it was. So it's just amazing at all of the propaganda literally worldwide that has been happening between countries. And Heather, you're right, because like the people of Cuba, the information that has leaked out from just the regular Cuban people, they're like, come here, we want, like, come help us, like we want this regime gone, just like Venezuela. It's their governments, it's not the people. And for people to stand up and say, oh no, they don't want, they don't want it. No, they do. They want to be free of these terrorist regimes that they're under. But very little information has been getting out. And of course, the only information I ever see is on X. I don't see it on Facebook. I don't see it on the news, of course. So it's really fascinating to see how deep the propaganda has gone worldwide by these people coming here and telling us like this is not what we've been told.
Yeah, when I went to Cuba, you can go there as an American. You just have to go under a certain criterion. So we were there for humanitarian purposes, and we actually were scheduled to have an interview to interview Fidel Castro himself. This is quite some time ago, and it ended up to where we met with his son Alejandro, and that was very strange, very
I thought you were
freaky.
talking about Trudeau for a second.
No, God, no. But that was it was an interesting trip, and yes, it is stuck in a complete time capsule. We went through all kinds of different tours and stuff, and got all this treatment, but it was scary. And I told the people I was with not to mention that I'm a veteran. I'm like, you can't mention that. And some idiot said it towards the end of our stay, and it got scary. All of a sudden, weird people showed up. I was just like happy to get the hell out of there. But anyway, it is beautiful. It's a gorgeous place, and I really hope that they find some freedom and that we can help provide it for them. But when you brought up Trudeau, I don't think people realize how scary our northern border is becoming, and going to become even worse. We have an enemy right on our borders, and we haven't for years, but now we do, and we got to start talking about that as well. Give me a second there, Terry and Julie.
Oh,
No problem.
well, Carney's even worse than Justin Trudeau. You talk about a two-faced flim-flam man. Boy, he's worse. But as to Cuba, we just indicted Castro Jr. So some people are thinking maybe they're going to rinse and repeat what we did with Maduro and pluck him out of there and try to get Cuba free. Hey, anything's could happen under Trump. A couple of years we might see a free Cuba. We might be cruising to Cuba.
I don't think it's a couple of years. I mean, I think this might happen within months. Yeah. You seen how many terrorists are taking asylum in Canada right now? With all the bombings going on in Iran, it's quite a bit. But trust in Canada, would be a deadly recipe. Remember, they burned our White House down. They've done it once. They burned it.
You talking about the War of 1812?
Was it? Yeah, yeah.
Craziness.
We were just talking about Cuba, and you brought up Canada and Justin Trudeau and the prime minister that's replaced him. I believe his name's Mark Carney. He's just he's far worse than Trudeau.
And they were British. The people that attacked the White House were British. British troops, not Canadians. But I think that's where they moved in from, was Canada.
Think about how many nefarious characters are up there, living there, waiting for orders, just like all the 50 million, don't tell them, let them tell you otherwise, that infiltrated our borders, during the, I can't even say the Biden administration. He wasn't in charge of it. He didn't, I know to this day, he doesn't even know that he was president. I swear. And it's actually really sad. I actually had a moment of feeling sorry for him. Not he's a piece of crap, but still, as a geriatric, when I was a medic, he's suffering Alzheimer's, whatever. The poor guy he's brain dead. I mean, it's the sad truth, and them shuffling him on stage, and man, we watched the most horrifying thing. Our country was so susceptible. Thank God for our military that kind of keeps us together. But we dodged such a bullet, getting rid of that piece of crap. But a bigger bullet that Kamalama Ding Dong isn't in office, because we'd be done.
Yeah, remember when she would always say, "I'm going to fight the trans criminal organizations"? No, everything she said was going to be the opposite, right? Trump's actually taking down those networks. You think Kamala would have been able to walk into Venezuela, get our refineries back, go into Iran, and execute at this level? Insane. Never.
She's an idiot. Just a useful idiot. Well, not so useful, but whatever. I see Mikey Relentless is down there.
Yeah, he messaged me. He's busy at work. That's why he can't take a mic. So when he's not busy, he will try to come up.
And I also see Skinny. He's awful quiet.
I was going to say that before. I've seen him lurking around, and he hasn't come up here lately. I guess the cat got his tongue.
Well, or work got his ass. But anyway, always surprised to have as many people as we have join our space. This is Marlon's space. He's been doing it for going on 5 years now. But whenever he can't host, you're kind of stuck with me and for now, and Julie and Terry and everybody else. So hopefully y'all are learning something. We've talked about all kinds of crap like we always do today. So I don't know where it's going, but I do know I'm going to tell you now that I will eventually shut this down. I'm trying to avoid the old Marlon, hey, we're going to shut down the space, and an hour and a half later, it's still going. So
you know where it should go? Crude oil is going on its way down. It's almost $75 a barrel right now. We're about to have $2 gas. That's why it's so damn quiet. We don't have liberals talking about eggs. We don't have them talking about gas. They're not talking about fertilizer anymore. They got nothing to complain about except a UFC fight that turns out there was a huge terrorist plot at this, which is crazy. I don't know. We ain't talking about that either.
Well, that was a given. I was praying all about that. Like, please, God, don't just let them be safe. You know, the security must have been unbelievably outrageous and stocked and ready for, whatever. But
I mean, the scale of the plan was actually intense. Like drones and snipers, and like it's insane.
Well, even the building of it, people don't realize when you're bringing in that much equipment, those many things, you're susceptible at any point for somebody to infiltrate. Just somebody who gets the job as a worker, the people who manufacture the stuff that they're using. I mean, there's so many steps that you got to follow for ultimate security. Go ahead, Sarvin.
Well, speaking of like interesting, like wondering about things. So I'd heard, did Mitch McConnell end up in the hospital recently? And like, is there
That's
any
what I
news
heard.
on that?
There that he was being held there for observation. I don't know what exactly happened to him. Maybe he had one of those freezing moments again, a little TIA, which is a transischemic attack, like a little mini stroke. Who the hell knows? I mean, it's time to put him out to pasture. He needs to retire.
Well, I'm curious. Do you know? So I think it was, I don't remember. Oh, I think it was about Maxine Waters. So these ancient parasites that are sitting in Congress, like this, when they're out, are they like, is someone allowed to vote for them if there's a vote going on? I had heard some things like there were votes made like when Maxine Waters wasn't even there. Like, is that allowable? Does that, I mean, I know like they're gonna do it because they cheat, but like, is it allowable to do? I don't know.
Well, they're either present or they're not present. And if they're present, they vote. I assume, you know. But
Yeah.
right.
Go ahead, Terry. Finish. Go ahead.
I was just going to pivot back to what Rule was talking about. The liberals being so unhappy is never underestimate their ability to be unhappy. These people are extremely disgruntled. Nothing will ever make them happy, it seems. They're never positive about anything. A lot of them just flat hate this country. They don't like anything about it. I don't know why they're still here, other than just to complain. I don't know.
Well, just to clarify regarding Congress, vote by proxy, you're not allowed to do that. It's not allowed.
To be honest,
and then in 1995, proxy voting was banned from House committees as well. They said, well, let me vote by proxy through a committee. But they abused the shit out of that. So in 1995, they changed that. Right. So it's not allowed. You're technically, constitutionally, you're not allowed to vote by proxy. You have to be there. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm at the point where it's like, all right, you guys hate this country that much. You leave. We'll bring in 2 immigrants who are on the wait list, right? Not ones that are here illegally. We'll bring in 2 from the wait list, right? Let's bring in Freddie and all these other guys that are here for the World Cup that are like blown away. Let's bring them in. And if you're so unhappy, you leave. We'll bring 2 in and we'll diversify it for you. We'll make you happy. And we'll send 1 liberal out for every 2 that come in. And then we'll fix everything and we'll have a good time. And that's, you know what I mean? Like, that's fair compromise. Like, if you hate this place that much, go and live in Iran. Please. Oh, we welcome you. I will pay for your ticket.
Well, I mean, if I were a billionaire or a new trillionaire like Elon, I would definitely fund that. Hey, anybody who's complaining, I will pay for you to move. The country of your choice. I don't give a crap what country it is, but not this one.
I'll pay taxes.
You know,
we can create just a weird tax. We can do it on beer. I don't give a shit. Like a 0.5% tax, and we'll just pay for all these guys to leave one time. And once they're all gone, we'll cut the tax. And you know what I'm saying? Like,
we already have our tax dollars being used for illegal crap anyway.
It's just throwing this out there. I'm just talking off my ass.
Go ahead, Julie.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. For every 1, let's make it 2 that go out. But yeah, the hatred for America and the hate and the lies that they spew. So the newest thing I'm watching trending here on X, which is cracking me up, is how I told you about Trump, where he read that statement saying that he was going to read word for word what the deal was with Iran, that there's no money being given. So there's what's trending right now that I'm looking on X is they're writing in unison like 5-6 times in a row. Trump is giving $300 billion to Iran, and people are copying and pasting that. So I want to bookmark them, and then when it gets read, and then they go away again thinking that nobody watched it, I'm going to put it back out again and say, really? So just wanted everybody to know that's now what's trending on X.
Go ahead, Sovereign.
Well, yeah, I just want to chime in too about the whole like if you don't want to be here. So I saw a post this morning was from someone from Ireland, and they're like begging us to take Rosie O'Donnell back, or they're threatening that they're going to send us rain until we do. And I was like, we're not. We don't know. No. But I agree. I think we could like find the funding. Say, you know what? You don't like America. That's great. Okay, wonderful. I'm glad you let us know. Here's your package to go ahead. But I want to add to that is they have to denounce their citizenship. They are no longer considered an American citizen, and they would have to apply just like any other illegal to come back to America if they wanted to come back. That's part of the deal. But feel free, please go ahead and leave. I will help fundraise for this. I will do whatever it takes. Robert De Niro can be one of the first to go. He's definitely one of them that needs to go. But anybody else out there, you don't like America, that's okay. We don't mind that you don't like America, but you got to go. Then you got to go. We don't want you staying in a country where you don't feel welcome. You know, we'll even you know what I'll do? I'll even get them all a nice new pair of socks, a matching pair of socks that they can take with them on their journey out of America and denouncing their American citizenship. Thank you very much.
Amen, sister. You preach it, girl. Let me tell you, and the media can go with them. The left media, you know, they can just, because they're the ones that are writing these stories full of omissions that Julie just talked about. That 300 billion they're talking about is not coming from the U.S. It's coming from the Gulf countries, and they only get it if they behave, and that's just the shortest version of it. But they're painting it that we're going to give them 300, the United States of America, 300 billion. It's a bunch of crap. So the media can go with them, and they can go be happy. I say, we buy Greenland, make it a U.S. territory. We can send them to Greenland. They can monitor the glaciers melting and just get back with us once in a while.
Dude, they're going to be begging us to buy Greenland soon. I'm telling you. By the end of Trump's term, it would not surprise me if they come begging us to buy Greenland. I mean, look what's happening over there, man. And there's about to be a full-blown actual civil war possibly over there.
Sorry. I just wanted to say, please don't put them on Greenland. That's my ancestral lands. Don't I have ancestors that came from there. Don't muck it up.
You know, sometimes you got to take one for the team, Sovereign. I'm sorry it's your ancestral lands, but look, if you only get one life, so why not be happy? You know, I mean, I don't get them. I don't get them. Did I just kill the space?
No.
Wow, you didn't kill it.
I think we're all reflecting, trying to figure out how we can make this possible. Like the exchange.
Let's do a GoFundMe things like, you know, we're raising money to get rid of people who hate America. You know what I mean? It'd probably work.
Oh my God! I'm not to change the subject, but I'm watching a video at the G7 summit, and Zelensky was trying to get Trump's attention. He basically turned his back on him. You see the look on his face. Like, I'll talk to you when I want to talk to you.
Didn't he do that to Starmer too? I saw a video where he just like walked past him, didn't shake his hand.
Oh, I'm sure. I think he's going to go off on that whole stuff that's going on over in the UK, because it's disgusting what they're doing to their people. The police need to be reeled in, man. That is just every day there's a story. I mean, did you see that one poor kid? I don't know what he was being arrested for. He was protesting, and he went to say something, and they knocked his head forward. He got impaled in a iron gate fence. And then they pulled his head off, and just like skin is hanging down. I was like, oh my God. Horrible stuff going on over there.
Well, I'm glad you told that story about Trump and Zelensky, because I still remember his first term when he went over to the G7 and he was walking, and another leader tried to walk in front of him, and he just shoved him out of the way, and he fixed his tie and his coat, and he looked around. You never have to wonder where Donald Trump is in a crowd, because I'll tell you where he's at. He's always in the front of the crowd. No one is ever in front of him ever, and he represents. If it was Joe over there, he'd be wandering around, getting lost somewhere behind some stage and looking for some ice cream, you know. But you never have to wonder what Trump's doing, because he is right out there in front representing.
You ever see that video where there was down at the meetings, I think in like Dubai or something, and the head of Saudi Arabia is there, and you're not supposed to touch him, right? And Trump just like walks up casually behind him and taps him on his shoulder, like, "Hey, bro." And then and it was like nothing, you know. Now they're like best friends. It's hilarious.
Go ahead, Groffman Stopple. It's good to see you.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Sad to say I'm not going to start in with Crocs or socks or puns like that. Anyway, I simply wanted to say these people do not hate America. These people hate an America they are not 100% in total control of. Remember that. These are neo-Marxists. They are not anything that you've ever been encountered before. Communists, they're easy to spot. Socialists, they're easy to spot. These people are statist neo-Marxist. They really believe that they can take over and just basically do what they will. This is why they constantly remind us this is our democracy.
Well,
never trust anybody that uses that language. I'm simply saying that there's no way to get through their brain. They've already given over to the dark side. There's no trusting them. Like I said, they don't hate this country. They hate the country that they're not in control of.
That's fair. I mean, if you actually like, if you think about it, Yemen, Georgia, Libya, Syria, Afghanistan, all these places that they've done their work, these color revolutions, all the way up with all that NATO encroachment into Russia. It's literally been the playbook, and now the color revolution's happening here. So I mean, these guys got a lot of confidence. Like this entire movement that is, you know, tied into Code Pink and the Marxist revolution and all that stuff. It's massive. You're right.
Well, no, you're exactly right. They have, and they had the full faith and credit of the U.S. government backing them with these color revolutions, and the one that came to our shores as well. They're in every aspect of every niche of government that we have, and it's going to take a long time to, you know, break these people free through, you know, either shaming them out of existence or attrition. You have to change the minds of the mass of everybody, not just the people in charge. They're just going along and hoping people don't notice them, right?
Well, this is what I've said so many times in these spaces, and I'll say it again. This has been going on over 100 years, basically ever since that horrifying document written, the Communist Manifesto. And we have, as a country, have actually been trying to fight it off. And so we thought we did, or we tried to, with the McCarthyism era. Senator McCarthy tried to warn everybody, put people on trial. He's a communist, you know. And that unfortunately got turned around against him, and he was basically ostracized. And he tried to save it. A couple laws did go through that he put in, which I wish they would start to enforce. But that's neither here nor there. But they instead took the fight from the front and then just went silent and then said, okay, well, we can't beat them there. Let's beat them in education. Let's just brain control all these young kids so that these next generations coming up, they'll just be more and more susceptible, slowly but surely. They were in for the long game, the long haul. And I've read this before, but I'll read it again, because if you haven't read what your enemy wrote, then you have no idea when to recognize it. And if you read the Communist Manifesto, it's not a long read, but it's kind of hard to get through. There's a lot of nonsensical bullshit in it. But the one couple sentences that I read all the time sums it up for me. It says this: there are, besides eternal truths such as freedom, justice, etc., that are common to all states of society. But communism abolishes eternal truths. It abolishes all religion and all morality, instead of constituting them on a new basis. It therefore acts in contradiction to all past historical experience. That is directly out of the Communist Manifesto, and people need to wake up and understand what we're fighting. When you read through the Communist Manifesto, you will kind of blow your mind, because then you'll recognize it. Then you'll recognize quotes that are used daily from the news, from television programs, from film, and from our politicians. And like I said, Senator McCarthy tried to stop this way back when in the 50s. And I wish he would have fully accomplished it. But now people are so openly about it because they've programmed and brainwashed our youth. So the youth are going to buy it because they've heard it their entire life. Go ahead, Grafenstoppel.
No, Truth, you're absolutely right. You have to read it to understand it, but then you have to understand reading it kind of seduces you, because when you read it, you realize that, wow, this really would be a wonderful world if everyone got along and worked towards a common good. And that's exactly why it was designed the way it was. Marx wasn't an idiot, but that's exactly what he wanted for the world. He thought that if we could just get enough stupid people to buy into this, it could possibly work. And that's exactly why it's so seductive. It's like the dark side of the force, right? Tinfoil is in here, he can tell you all about it. It seduces people into believing that this is actually possible. And that's why it's so hard to get rid of once it's implemented, and true believers keep hanging on to the ideals. You need a lobotomized population to actually achieve some kind of actual communism.
The only way
The problem is
education.
Well, exactly. The problem is you have a lobotomy tool that you're staring at right now with this black screen in your hand, and it's slowly lobotomizing billions of people. And one day that might be irreversible, and we have to be very careful with everything that we're doing right now, because if these tools fall into the wrong hands, it's over for good.
We have
That's why
we'll come back from it.
Yeah, again, this is why, okay, like you're saying, the utopia, right? You can call it heaven, you can call it whatever. Everybody, human nature is, yes, we want peace, we want a beautiful place we can be, we want people to get along. Yes, the utopian idea is a big seller. Philosophers have talked about it for centuries, right? But when it says it abolishes all religion and all morality, this is where we are right now. Look at the constant battle that's going on. It's essentially a battle of good and evil, period, end of story. That's kind of the simplicity of it. But it gets so complex because they attack everything in so many directions. That's why I always title the space when I'm doing it now with distractions. We are constantly being distracted. The truth of the matter is this world is dark and evil. If you want to talk biblically, read the Bible. Things of this world are disgusting. That's the unfortunate truth. There will be no utopia on this earth. It's not going to happen because you have evil. No matter how many good people you have together behind something, there's always that one bad seed, that one rotten apple that destroys everything, right? So the good news is, biblically speaking, in the end, God wins. So all of this stuff really is nonsense. All of this worldly shit that we're concerned about, it's really nonsense, quite frankly. But, this is always an interesting conversation because it brings up a lot of passion with people. It brings up a lot of just frustration, all kinds of stuff. And I certainly don't like getting in religious back and forth because that just bores the shit out of me. To me, religion is a bad thing. So I can see where, abolishes our religion because of the fights and wars and battles fought over this kind of stuff. But ultimately, when you're taking all morality out of our society, you're doomed. The assumption that our forefathers made when creating this country and choosing to use it as a constitutional republic, knowing that government-wise, it's the best way that they could have this, give it a chance at least, the assumption that all moral people would be in office was the mistake that they made. Because at that time, most all of them were believers in God, were basically Christian of Christian faith. And the assumption was, of course, people are going to think like we think and continue on because we all believe in the same God. And then as soon as you start taking that out, that's where all the shit happens. Oh my gosh.
God,
Go ahead.
more problems.
Gruff and Supple, did you have your hand back up? Sorry.
Oh no, yeah, you've made my point for me. That was and that's always been the pulling point. And for years, the Democrat Party has been, playing footsie with the ultra left and these Keynesians and the communists to, just kind of give them lip service and then go around and stab them in the back and then come back every 4 years and promise them the world. And, even Obama did that. He said, "Oh, we are the people you've been waiting for," just to talk to the Democratic Socialists and get them to show up to vote. And then what does he do? He signs up with Netflix, and now he's worth multi-millions. All the 8 years of promising global warming and sea level rising, and what does he do? He buys a house in Martha's Vineyard where his cook drowned. It's just incredible. These people lie like breathing, and they're perfectly fine with it. This is the allure that communists use to bring young, impressionable people in, especially in colleges, and now even younger. So this is why they want to change the voting age to 16, because you got a bunch of dumbass high school kids that don't know, where their other sock is.
Well, they'll be more excited to vote than many of us are.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Really quick, we're gonna go. Let's just make sure you raise hands and sort of jumping in. I know we're used to popcorn, but and Julie has her hand up, but really quick here on this thought process. Man, I'll come back to it. Go ahead, Julie.
Yeah, I was just listening in on that conversation. That was what Groff was saying, and I put it very early into the Purple Pill, a really good picture, just an analogy of also why the young people in America are so confused, and they think, and with the lies that they peddle and the things that they do. If everybody just goes in there and looks at the pictures of the people that are posted on there, and what they are representing or supposedly representing, and why we're having the issues that we're having in this world. So I just wanted to put that in there, because I had put that in earlier when I first got into the space. I just thought that was pretty interesting.
Well, okay, so let's look at the average age of our founding fathers. They were like 19, early 20s. I mean, these were young people. There's a couple that were a little older, maybe in their 30s and 40s, but for the most part, they were very young. But people that young back then had a lot more smarts, were far more intelligent than kids that are 18 these days, 16, whatever. The brain, we know by science and whatnot, doesn't fully develop till about the age of 26. Now, it's funny how you can't actually rent a car on your own until you're age 26. For some reason, car rental places figured it out. Like, no, we're not going to give our cars to any idiot. We need their brain fully developed. So maybe that should be the voting age, is 26. I don't know.
Well, the other thing I was thinking is listening to everyone here is, we've got some of the smartest phones, but some of the dumbest people, because they're getting a lot of information on this communist movement. There's these people that the government is the answer to everything, and they think socialism and communism is good, and I think that's why they want to get these kids in school sooner, not because of phones, because of indoctrination. They start to indoctrinate them sooner. So imagine that if kids were homeschooled and they didn't have phones, and they're relying on the moral of the parents if the parents didn't think they were moral. Because just how dumb would you have to believe that communism is the better alternative than a capitalist constitutional republic where you get to select your representatives? I mean, just how dumb would that have to be? A person have to be.
Right. Now, before we go back to your rule, I saw Mike came up here and as well as Mad Dog. Do you guys have anything to add really quick here, guys? Nope. Well, shoot.
No,
Mike,
I'm just lurking, trying to get the flow of the room. Good morning. Go down to the Purple Pill, like, share, and bookmark the space. That's it.
Thank you, Mad Dog. Appreciate it. Go ahead, Rule.
Yeah, I was just gonna build on what we were talking about. Is really the only way to beat this. And I've been talking to a lot of different people over the last few weeks as I've been uncovering things here locally. But the infrastructure, right? The NGO infrastructure that the left has is what is getting these people to vote, right? They're driving ballot initiatives. They're getting people to go vote, right? And it's all our own tax money that's being, laundered back through into these campaigns, and the right doesn't have anything like that. So a lot of people have been talking to me about starting up a 501c3 aimed at educating. So I'm 40, and I feel like my generation has done a really poor job. We've done a really good job of understanding technology for ourselves, but we haven't done a very good job of educating seniors, our parents, even, who I wouldn't necessarily label as seniors yet in some cases, and then kids, right? They're attacked on various different platforms. The propaganda that's being pumped on these platforms, how to safely navigate it. How do you use AI to, render out bias and falsehoods, right? There's so many different tools and platforms and ways to get our voices heard, but people aren't safe on these platforms when they first get here. So educating these people on these platforms, how to use them, proper thread etiquette, proper space etiquette, right? Because it differs all over the place. But then how do you use AI? How do you follow the money to understand, hey, this poll is actually brainwashed. Look at who's running the poll. Look who funds that company, right? And then following those trails to get the information that you need, right? Because there's a lot of deception with these candidates right there now, right? The Democrats' brand sucks so bad that they have to run these fake independents, right? And then you follow the money trail and you follow the polls and all the information and the media, and it all leads you back to the same place. Okay, this is a Democrat, right? So how do you educate voters? How do you educate voters on various different topics, but how do you do it mainly? How do you make a safe place for people to navigate? Because to be honest with you, that's kind of the separating factor between, the realities is who's got the right information and who don't. And that's because we've been in information warfare for the better part of 15 years, I'd say, or more. So, but it starts with the education, and that's the only way we can beat this.
Well, okay.
The silent majority has to speak up.
You combine that, though. You used a word. Data. Data is the most valuable commodity right now on planet Earth. It ain't gold, it ain't platinum, it's data. And so they've used it through all of these stupid apps, the one we're on right now. All of the things, the surveys that you take, you think it's fun and games. Oh, where would you like to go for your dream vacation? All this bullshit. It's collecting data. The more that they can collect about you, about me, about what we say, how we think. Sure, they use it for advertising. You see the things that you were just talking about, or even you thinking of, and then it pops up as an ad on your device. They're manipulating the data and using it, and it can be used for nefarious reasons so much. So yes, educating everybody on how to safely find information, use it to your advantage. But the fact that right now nobody has control over your data except for big conglomerates like Google that farm all your data, it's essentially saved on a hard drive, the simplest form. Just like in your computer, there's a little mini hard drive. So you have many hard drives, multiple copies planted all across the globe of just you, all of your information, and you have zero access to it. You can't delete it. You can't change it, nothing. So there's got to be a point to where we start saying enough is enough. That is our data. That's our private data. I'm a sovereign being. You have no right to collect that data. But unfortunately, they know that. So if you look closely at those long ass agreements, the contracts that you just click and sign and yes, 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 read through those when you get a chance. You'll blow your mind what you gave to them. They have rights in perpetuity to your images, to your voice, to all kinds of stuff. It's a really scary time when you think about it. But at the same token, it's just worldly shit that really doesn't matter. None of this really matters. Try to keep it all in perspective. That's what I usually say towards the end of these spaces. But speaking of which, I'm done. I definitely want to start closing down. I see Allie, Marlon kind of came back. If you guys want to come up and say some stuff before we start to spin it off. Hello, Allie.
Mikey's up here. I don't know if he wanted to say something quick. Hey, Mikey, how you doing?
I'm good. Just busy, busy, busy.
Did you get all the final results from the last thing that you guys did there, Mikey, out in Florida?
Yeah. We had 10 kids we were searching for, 4 adults. We've found 8 of the kids so far, 3 of the adults. We're still working those outstanding cases. And we have a separate case out of Vegas that me and some of the other team members are working on. So work continues as usual.
Well, it is amazing work that you and your team do. So you're always in our family's prayers and our church as well. So I'm glad you're doing what you do, Mikey. I don't have that in me. I would kill every piece of crap that we found. So
There is self-restraint. There's no doubt. But, the other parts of this is not just, leading with hate, but also, trying to reach. And, some of these people that have been arrested with these search and rescues, we've been able to try to reach them as well to turn their lives around so that they are not doing this anymore. They'll still face their consequences, of course. But what does it look like on the backside of those consequences, and where can their life go? And can we lead them to Jesus? And can we help them, find a support system that helps them make better choices going forward so that we're not repeating this cycle? Because if we can break the cycle, that's less kids that we have to look for. So we're continuing to, do that from a ministry standpoint. And, it's definitely taxing on the soul, but we're called to do it, so we're gonna continue.
That's awesome, man.
Goodness, man. Thank goodness there's people like you and Allie that are really boots on the ground, and we know that for a fact. And keep going, keep helping these children. It's just a horrible. I know that on the federal level, the FBI, they are the Department of Homeland Security. They just got so many more children after the UFC for the US or the I forgot it was the UFC. I think it was. In Massachusetts. Is that correct? They just rescued a bunch of kids there?
Yes. Yep. They had an operation up there in Mass, and they did some great work. And they're going to continue these operations across the United States with local partners, with nationwide partners. We'll continue to work with them. We've been on several of their operations, and we'll continue to foster that relationship.
Well, that's awesome, man. Allie, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Thanks for the mic.
Well, that's it.
Hi, Allie.
Hey, how's it going? I'm in the car right now. I'm heading to a round table that we were invited to participate in the state of Florida. There's going to be a lot of leaders, community leaders, law enforcement agent partners, and certain company representatives that are trying to collectively get a handle and an understanding on how we can better, collaborate on efforts to combat human trafficking in Florida. This is GUARD's first state level roundtable that we'll be participating at. We've participated on the federal level, but Florida is our home state, and we're trying to do everything we can to also be present and fighting in our own backyard. I don't normally do this, but I did have a question for Mikey if he feels like DMing me. I am curious as to how two individuals in the same fight who've never had an issue, how I ended up blocked with no message as to what happened. And I'm not the type of person that brings drama on this app. I'm very work focused, but if you block someone that's in the same industry that's only ever supported you and true people and fighters, I'm just curious as to a block with no response and no reason. So if you're open to reaching out so that we can get back to fighting for the children, even if it's going our separate ways, that's fine. I just think that communication is key. We don't have nearly enough fighters in this area, and we need every single person that we can get to fight. And so I just believe in open communication. And like I said, I don't want to bring drama to the space, but I just wanted to put that out there since I'm blocked and I can't message.
Wow. Well, yeah, Allie, we'll definitely do what we can to support. If you're not following Allie, please do so, even though she might be blocked. What a shame. Let me get through some hands. Mad Dog and Sovereign.
Yeah, Truth. I just want to shout out a couple of things that I've got going. One's Founding Fathers Barbecue Day, Father's Day barbecue that a group of us in Oregon are putting together. We started a little foundation nonprofit that we're trying to spread patriotism and, God, family, everything along the conservative line to our community. And we're doing that. That's just a small thing happening this weekend. It's big to me, but it's a lot of work, and I get to cook a lot of pork this weekend, or this week. I got to cook for 200 people. Anyway, on the other note, there was a post I put in the Purple Pill. I don't have a lot of information on it other than it's called My Veteran Buddy. This trucker veteran is trying to, he's actually launching. He's launched it, but he's looking for support to get this thing, to get him out of a truck so he can actually get this thing rolling. And what it is, it's hiring vets, reaching out to vets, a veteran-driven organization, and he outlines it. That's why I posted his space. So if you're interested at all, listen to it. He does an excellent narrative on what he's doing, what his purpose is, where he's going. He's based in Texas, and I joined up. I'm on board. I like his mission. I told him about the Ranchers Association, and I mean, it goes across the board. He's got Operation this, Operation this, Operation this, all the way down the line. He's going after our food. He's going after faith and community. He's going after trying to get the right people elected. It's just to turn this country around and to help veterans at the same time. I just wanted to give a shout out on that, and I'll land my plane.
Awesome, Mad Dog. Yeah, it's great that each one of us can make a difference, whether how small or big, in our communities, and we need more of that. Just reminds me of Charlie Kirk, and he knew that our children were in grave danger, and so he made sure to go to the schools and try to talk to them and engage them. And really, he spent most of his time talking about God, which is awesome. Go ahead, Julie, and then we'll go to you, Sovereign.
Yeah, that is something that needs to be brought also to the forefront. And getting back to the children, the way that it's really coming out now, and the evidence. I played for a few people that were, I was at work with yesterday with Mark Wayne Mullins when he came out with the last big rescue when he had the press conference about the 120,000 kids that they've already rescued, and some of them stating that they've been raped 600 to 700 times, and people were hearing that for the first time. Either they just didn't pay attention, and I really still think in the end, this is what is going to bring everybody together. I think that it was confusing with the Sound of Freedom when that came out, because people looked at that saying, oh, well, this happens in third world countries. They didn't realize the premise of that movie was, yeah, these kids are taken from third world countries, but they're brought here for the biggest business people that are dealing with that, which is America. And but I don't think that resonated with people. I didn't say that correctly how I said it, but that's a big business here in this country. And I do think that one day that is going to really is what's going to pull everybody together, because it's really starting to come out now, and it's really being talked about. So I hope that's what it is, and I hope that everybody bands together into their own communities and really starts to flood this stuff out. Oh, and one more thing. I'm so sorry. Truth, I am going to drop because I do have an appointment I have to get in the shower for, so I have to get ready for this appointment. But I just wanted to thank everybody for coming in. Please, one more time, go down to that purple bubble, like and reshare the space. I know there's a few more hands up. Great space again today, lots of information, so people will listen to it later. I appreciate you all. Have a great day, and God bless America.
Thanks, Julie. Appreciate it. Sorry, Sovereign. Go ahead, hon.
That's okay. I just want to take this opportunity, since Allie's in here. Good to see you, Allie. I just want to say thank you for what you're doing. Please, with everybody that you meet, from one survivor, please tell them all thank you. I did want to share with you, because I don't know if Brandy saw it. I had sent her some information, so I just got it on good authority from someone on the inside that, and I don't know if this is going to matter for what you do, but since you're meeting with a different group of people, that there is resource hoarding going on by 501c3s that are tasked, that are meant to help, human trafficking survivors. They're resource hoarding. I've noticed a lot of them that are doing the resource hoarding are still implementing DEI. When you go in and you start digging into some of these places, you can see it. They're getting a little trickier about how they're stating it, but it is happening. And I believe that some of the resource hoarding is going to people, well, it's a whole thing, but so they are doing that, and they are keeping it from certain survivors. So that's going on, and that's becoming an issue. Again, I really would love to be a part of any conversation on not just the anti-trafficking, but the aftercare, because that's where we're going in, we're rescuing people, but what is being done for the afterwards? That's still a huge issue. And Allie, again, I just want to say thank you for what you all do. And my DMs, if you, again, I'm here, man. I'm here. I'm just waiting for somebody to say, hey, we could use your help. I'm not looking to be paid for this. Any way I can help at any time. Also, Allie, if you meet some people and you want to pass along my Twitter account and they want to get a hold of me, please do. I am here for it. I will help in any way possible. And again, thank you everybody out there who not only speaks and holds spaces against anti-trafficking and protecting the children, but to those boots on the ground, everybody that's in this movement, thank you. And I am here. If anybody, I'm here.
Thanks, Sovereign. Go ahead, Ellie.
Sovereign, that was so sweet. I am so thankful that X brought us together and that we're able to share knowledge, resources, and even things concerning us, like what you had mentioned. I'd love for you to send me that information because, that's unacceptable to be hoarding resources. Right now, there's a shortage of resources. We don't need to be hoarding resources, hoarding contracts. We need to be uniting and providing for survivors, combating this issue and preventing it in any way that we can. I think the aftercare, especially when it comes to the mental health component, needs to be examined. I think that there needs to be a roundtable or a task force that's conducted or put together to understand how to best address this issue, because we as a whole don't address mental health appropriately in this country. I mean, just look at our veterans. Our veterans are still struggling, and they have all of the money and all of these different therapies, and they still somehow manage to drop the ball. So we just need to be very cognizant of the fact that throwing money at the issue, and I know you weren't saying this, but I'm just saying for the space, throwing money at the issue isn't going to fix the problem. We need to really understand who are the providers of mental health services. Are they the best that we can provide? Do they understand the issues? Can we bring it back to providing mental health services for our children, for our veterans, for our survivors of any, different type of crime? So I really think that mental health as a whole needs to be looked at as a nation and how we deal with that. But Truth, thank you for calling on me. What I was going to say was actually backing up what Julie said before she left, because I was asked to be on a media interview. I forget which one it was. W Mall, Larry O'Connor, I think his name was. But there's a lot of people that just misunderstand what happened at the border. And there's a lot of people that really still think that it never happened. And I don't know, other than continuing to be a voice and showing people pictures, videos of me actually there, of the children I saw, of the migrants that crossed into the country, and of the news headlines of victims of these of these crimes. I don't know what else we can do to wake people up to the fact that it is happening here. And the fact that it isn't, like Julie said, a foreign country problem, when 60% of trafficking actually begins online. I was at a conference, and I'm actually heading back to Miami right now, but I was at a conference a couple months ago in Miami, and it was ultra high net worth individuals, and they think that they're insulated from the problem. And I'm like, just because you live in $1 million mansion doesn't mean that your children are protected from this. If they have a phone, a tablet, a gaming system, or a computer, they are just as at risk. And it doesn't matter if you live in $1 million mansion or, an apartment complex in New York City. Your child is at risk, and you need to understand the issue just like everyone else does, and that it is a domestic issue. It's not just a foreign problem.
Amen, Allie. It's always great to have you in here. I hate to cut this short, guys, but I'm got a lot of stuff going on that I've got to jump out of here. But Sovereign, any final words here, and then I'll say goodbye to Terry and we'll get out of here.
Thank you. Yeah, just real quick, back to you, Allie. A lot of people, I think we need to also help the American public understand what Romeo trafficking is. So it can be a friend, it can be a potential romantic partner, but it all starts psychologically. It starts a lot of times online. And it's a real big disservice to the public that we're not getting that information, because that's how a lot of domestic trafficking is happening within the United States. That's how they're grabbing these kids. That's how they're getting them through online forums. And it's a whole thing, and we really need to educate. There's billions of dollars, they say, that goes into anti-trafficking and education, and yet I walk around every day and I see nothing about educating the public on human trafficking. So where is that money actually going? That's another issue. The other issue too is, I just found out where I'm at, the United Way. They have grants. They don't do any services. They have grants to help with human trafficking. And she informed me that the last 2 years, nobody's even applied, probably because nobody knows. So there's just money just sitting there not being used to help survivors. So it's a whole mess. But thank you again, Allie, and I'll message you.
Just really quick, Terry, thank you for co-hosting. Again, guys, I'm sorry I got to cut this short. It's a great conversation. Allie, please try to make it again when we're doing this, because this needs to be talked about more. And along the lines of what you said regarding, mental health, it really is an issue throughout this entire country. And believe you me, the thing that the deep state, whatever you want, they spent so much time and money and effort into understanding the human psyche and manipulating the crap out of it. So it is a huge issue. I really want to follow up on that and do this again. Terry, thank you for being up here, buddy.
Oh, you're welcome. And Allie and Mikey, I just want you to know I'm gonna be lifting you all up in my prayers, because what you guys are doing is really God's work, because these are God's babies. And wow. I just I can't even imagine it being one of mine or one of my grandkids. So thank you.
Amen to that. Joe, real quick, man, I got to shut this down. You got any final word here?
Yeah, in terms of mental health, instead of asking what medication to take, ask what's my toxic burden. I've seen it reversed just by chelating out the toxicants, and then the mind works again. It's not rocket science. In military, what's the first thing they do for military preparedness? They poison the soldier. That's it.
Okay, so Allie and Sovereign and Mikey, thanks for steering the last part of our conversation of the space towards where you did. It's an important and necessary front that we need to fight together. Anyway, sorry again so much to cut this short, but it is what it is. I got to go, but I really appreciate everybody being here. Like I say at the end of these spaces, just remember a couple things. Don't sweat the small stuff, and just realize that everything is small stuff. This has always been, always will be a battle of good versus evil. We're seeing it more and more clearly these days. But to keep it all in perspective, the micro and the macro, God wins. We have the script. It's going to be okay. Just put your trust and your faith in God. It does make a huge difference in your life. Lots of things that were said here. Really appreciate y'all being here and supporting this space for Marlon, even though he's not technically running it. But anyway, God bless you all. God bless America. Don't work too hard. All the things that Marlon says at the end of the spaces. Appreciate it all. Thanks for being here. We'll see you all tomorrow.